All right, y'all, we live. Back with another video. Y'all know how we do. Always pushing help, wealth, and a better understanding of self. So I got FBA standing on business with immigration policies. We got Jasmine Crockett. She's not gonna win this. She don't have the public. A lot of people already on the internet is already favoring bad for Jasmine because she's pushing immigration still. But we're gonna break down this video, then I'm gonna let y'all see FBA standing on business. And we're gonna open up the chat so y'all can call in. Let's get it.
Her first since announcing her run for Senate in the state of Texas, Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Congresswoman, thank you for being here. As you know, a Texas Democrat has not won a statewide race in 30 years. Tell me what your path to victory is.
My path is through the people. Right now, we know that, yes, there's a blue wave that is coming. That is why the president and his minions have decided to go across this country and try to cheat their way into holding the House. But when it comes down to Senate races, every voice is counted. Every single vote matters the same. And what we wanted to look for is whether or not I could expand the electorate and get people motivated to vote who normally don't participate in the process. And our numbers say that we can do that. There's a lot of excitement, and you're going to need excitement. You're going to need momentum. And obviously, you're going to need a few receipts to make sure that we flip the state. But it can and it will get done.
Well, Congresswoman, that's one path. Obviously, those who have not participated normally. Then there's a whole host of people who have voted. Is your path through those who have previously voted, but for different parties, as well as those who have not wanted to be a part of the system before?
I will tell you that our targets aren't necessarily those that consistently have not joined the movement known as the Democratic Party. It's not necessarily them that we're going after, but I do want to be clear that a lot of people continue to think that this is about policy, yet they can't really explain how it is that you have Mandami Trump voters, or how you have Obama Trump voters, or how you have AOC Trump voters. And the reality is that I think that that's where we are going to walk that fine line. We are going to be able to get people that potentially have voted for Trump, even though
There's no way. I mean, I think she's delusional. I don't think she understands where the world is going right now. We're seeing all of these scams done. She has no.
Obviously am one of his loudest opponents, because at the end of the day, they vote for who they believe is fighting for them. And it's about moving people. And so I think I've got a track record of doing that. I think people understand that when I sign up to go to DC, it's always me taking the people with me.
Now, y'all seen in that last video I showed, she wasn't getting paid enough. She's trying to make more money. If you ask me, these politicians ain't nothing but trying to get checked. She's trying to move up. I guarantee you a Senate make more than what her last position was. She's not finna downgrade.
It's not ignoring their voices. And that's what we're going to do. So for all those that believe it's about which one is more moderate or which one is too far left, if you look at the actual numbers, not just polls, but real elections, then you will see that the crossover doesn't come because you decide to sound like a Republican. The crossover comes because you make people believe that you will fight for them.
How will you make voters who previously have voted for Trump, particularly given that you have been an outspoken critic and he has inserted himself? Just take your campaign video as is. He has inserted himself at every turn when it comes to your commentary. How will you convert?
I'm saying she say Trump name more than anything. It's like, tell us about what you bringing to the table. You ain't bringing nothing to the table. You just want to capture all the Trump enemies. It's like she always keep this man name in your mouth. I want to hear reparations. We don't hear nothing that out of you.
For those who are supportive of him to voters for you.
Yeah, I don't know that we'll necessarily convert all of Trump's supporters. That's not our goal.
Do you need to?
Our goal is to definitely talk to people. No, we don't. We don't need to. Our goal is to make sure that we can engage people that historically have not been talked to, because there's so many people that get ignored, specifically in the state of Texas. Listen,
they going after the immigrants. That's what she's telling y'all right now. She's going after. She don't have to worry about. They got enough people in this country that they trying to get over here that they gonna get them. They don't got to worry about anybody
State
else.
of Texas is 61% people of color. We have a lot of good folk that we can talk to. We know that when Beto came really close, Beto, who is a progressive, we know that he got 65% of the Latino vote. So what did they do after that? They specifically went after Latinos. We know that he got close to 90% or right there at 90% of the African American vote. So honestly, what we need to do is start talking to the vast majority of Texas. I think my message is very much a mainstream message. I don't know who disagrees with the fact that affordability is a real thing, except for the president who says it's a Democratic hoax. But when somebody goes to the grocery store nowadays, whether it's in East Texas or whether it's right here in Dallas, Texas, or whether it's in Austin or West Texas, let me tell you, they are looking at those grocery prices and they are thinking we deserve better, knowing that we do the amount of trade that we do in the state of Texas. Yet right now, there are these unwarranted tariff wars that is directly impacting us, knowing that we do agriculture big in Texas. We do everything bigger in Texas, but we do ag big, and understanding that we are hitting record-breaking bankruptcy filings by our farmers. Listen, my message is real simple. I'm looking out for you, your survival, and the survival of your kids as it relates to affordability, being able to actually go and access healthcare, being able to send your child to school, being able to afford a roof over your head. If that's not, what Trump supporters want, then fine. Then they absolutely won't listen to me. But I'm here for the everyday person, the person that's not the billionaire on the list that Trump has decided to take care of, but the people that he left sitting out in the cold, just like he did when he decided to be sworn in, and he decided that Inauguration Day, he would have it inside while so many of his loyal supporters were outside.
Well, let me talk to you. Immigration is also big in Texas, and you yourself have been criticized for being critical of Latinos who support President Trump, and you have been dismayed at the support that they have shown for Trump's immigration crackdown. How do you bring them back into the fold, given all the other issues you have discussed as well?
Yeah, so I think the frustration is real just in general, because I could see the writing on the wall. And what I've come to the conclusion of is that he is a con man. I mean, we know he's a con man. And I understand that there were people that were legitimately conned. But the reality is that whether you are an American citizen or not, we have a Supreme Court, Trump Supreme Court, that said, because of how you look or because of how you sound, you can be rounded up. We've had a record number of U.S. citizens. This is why it is so important for us not to be divided, but instead decide that we are going to be united, because you think that it's okay, maybe, if somebody goes out and does the things that they've been doing to undocumented folk. But the reality is that even those that are actual citizens, even those that are documented, are being tormented.
She's not even explaining us that she's just giving us so much of the. She's not explaining her stance on immigration. Are you just going to open up the borders for people to just come over here or what?
As well. And so this can hit any and all of us. We saw what happened in Chicago when they decided to go to the South Side and they went and got Black babies out that were absolutely U.S. citizens as well.
So you will take issue, Congressman, with the tactic, not just the policy, or both?
I take issue with both. I mean, there is no policy. Right now, they have decided that they were just going to be rogue actors. We know that there's been an opportunity to engage in actual policy work, but we know that this administration does not care to know what the House or the Senate wants to do. Instead, they have been bulldozing and ignoring any laws that we've tried to put into place. And he doesn't want to do this. He likes the chaos, and he likes the hate, and he likes the confusion that allows people to be diverted from the other terrible things that he's doing. And so what I want us to do is us to just focus on what kind of life do we want? Do you want a life where your neighbors can be nabbed just because of the skin that they are in, or because of the language or accent that they may have? That's not a
No, we want people who have to be here if they're here. We don't want an influx of immigrants coming into the country, period. And it's like, we feel like you with Kamala, you with all of that, you trying to just bring so many people over here. We don't want you, Jasmine. We don't want nothing to do with
American. And I'm trying to get back to basics. I'm trying to make sure that those that truly consider themselves to be patriots, those that consider themselves to live in the land of the free and the land of opportunity are engaging in just that. It is literally time, as he used to say, to take our country back. It is time for us to own our flag. It is time for us to prove what patriotism is. And it is a action verb. It is not a noun that you just say. It is about your actions. And right now we are not seeing patriotism.
One way to have patriotism in action, of course, is through voting. And as you know, Congresswoman, you're going to first need to defeat State Representative James Talrico, who President Obama recently praised as somebody who we thought was the future of the party. Can you pinpoint a substantive policy difference between the two of you, given, of course, he has been campaigning a little bit longer than your announcement today?
Yeah, so it's not like I've delved into the full breadth of James's policies. What I will tell you is that we served together in the state house. And because he's never served on the federal level, I don't know all of his federal positions. What I can tell you is that I've been in the belly of the beast. What I can tell you is I am the one that's receiving the phone calls from people that are scared that they're.
She don't understand. His sales pitch is way better. He was more, I watched Sabby Sab. Let me let y'all see this. His sales pitch was way better. Check this out. I'm gonna let y'all see this, bro, before we get, so I can show y'all us family standing on business. But check out, I checked out what Sabby Sab had to say about dude, and it's like, no way this woman is finna win anything, bro. I'm sorry. It's just, she talks too much. You bashing. We want to hear you talk about. Check this out.
I think some people are already getting duped with this announcement here from Jasmine Crockett. Now, they're not getting duped into her race and believing that, or feeling as though this isn't real. It is real. Jasmine Crockett's district was one of those districts that was a part of the redistricting in Texas. So she no longer has a district for the House, right? So now she is running for the Senate. And what I have noticed, and we're going to go through it tonight, what I have noticed is that some people are saying that this is the new progressive champion, the new populist out there fighting for the people. But is she? Because what I'm going to show you is that when we look at the way that Jasmine Crockett has voted, when we look at her position on Israel and other progressive matters.
Yeah, Savvy 100, man. I don't know what they be talking about, but Savvy 100.
I think that you may feel differently. So Jasmine Crockett has announced that she is running for Senate. A lot of people are talking about this, folks. I want you to see what she said here for her announcement.
Well, I'm done with politics as usual. I'm done with going along to get along, and it gets us nowhere. I'm done watching rural hospitals and public schools close their doors. I'm done watching parents be afraid to send their kids to school or the mall or the movies because Republicans have flooded our streets with guns. I'm done with the senators sitting around doing nothing while Trump takes your hard-earned money, skims your Social Security, slashes Medicare, and gives tax breaks to billionaires. I'm done. I'm done watching the American dream on life support while Trump tries to pull the plug. The gloves have been off, and now I'm jumping into the ring. I'm asking for your support to be the next United States Senator from the greatest state of Texas. Well, I'm
okay.
Done
now listen to the
So that's the announcement that came from Jasmine Crockett. And I think what many people are pointing out about her is that she is more vocal, right? Like she's been a much more vocal in ways that other people in the Democratic Party in Congress have not been, so much to the point where she has received pushback from people in the party, basically telling her, I guess, to kind of tone it down a little bit. Now, I would say the Democratic Party, they do need someone that's going to be willing to fight.
St. Louis.
But I think people need to ask, what do they want to fight for? And I think that's the thing with Jasmine Crockett, right? So a lot of people, some people are pointing to her and they're saying, this is the new star. This is what we really need in the Senate to fight back against Donald Trump and his agenda. But many people are pointing to her new ad that she just released, and people are asking, okay, is she running against Donald Trump or is she running against, her opponent, who I am going to show you as well in Texas. I want to show you this ad, and you tell me what you think about it. Here it is, folks.
She's the new star of the Democrat Party, Jasmine Crockett. They're in big trouble.
But you have this woman, Crockett. She's a very low IQ person.
I watched her speak the other day. She's definitely a low IQ person. Crockett. Oh, man. Oh, man. She's a very low IQ person.
Somebody said the other day, she's one of the leaders of the party. I think you got to be kidding.
Now they're going to rely on Crockett. Crockett's going to bring them back.
She played that.
So that's her ad. And some people saw this and they said they thought that this was brilliant. Others saw it and they said, okay, this is great if you're running against Donald Trump, but you're not running against Donald Trump. And some people felt it was egotistical, right? Now I want to show you, because she has a competitor in the primary.
The biggest divide in our country.
Let's bring him in here. I'm just gonna make this a little bit bigger. This is her opponent. Listen to him.
The biggest divide in our country is not left versus right. It's top versus bottom. Billionaires want us looking left and right at each other so that we're not looking up at them. The people at the top work so hard to keep us angry and divided because our unity is a threat to their wealth and their power. So their social media algorithms and their cable news networks tear us apart. They divide us by party, by race, by gender, by religion, so that we don't notice that they're defunding our schools, gutting our healthcare, and cutting taxes for themselves and their rich friends. It is the oldest strategy in the world. Divide and conquer. But we will not be conquered.
Okay.
So now
y'all heard him, right? His sales pitch just sound like, I'm saying Jasmine could have even been talking like that. I'm saying, let's go back to what Jasmine's saying. Check this out. Shout out to Mickey though. I mean Sabby. Sabby out always holding it down, but not. Now listen to this lady. And I'm finna. No, that's the wrong one. My bad, y'all. My bad. Let me put it on. So it should go right in. Yeah, I've been active. Oh man. Well, check it out, y'all.
Everyone was thinking about our voices. That it was immigrants who built this country.
Probably a whole AI video.
Africans
For a while,
who were
I
enslaved.
never knew.
Well, don't you think it's been long enough?
This
I am
is
sick and
AI.
tired of you.
Who had no opportunity for freedom or even freedom of thought were in fact immigrants. Now, we're talking about immigration as if it's something over there or over there. But the harm to every immigrant is harm to every one of us.
Wait a minute. Aren't you NAACP leader? Isn't that your whole cause to help the Black community? Well, let me educate you on that just because maybe I don't know if you know what you're talking about. The harm that you're talking about is harming the Black American citizens, all the legal citizens that are in urban communities. They're losing jobs. So that's the harm that's really going on. And I think that by you fighting for illegal immigration, it's a smack in the face to all the immigrants who became American citizens going through the process the right way.
In this country, we want to believe that the Constitution has protected us all, and in fact, it has not.
Bullshit!
But that doesn't mean that we can't work to ensure that it does. In the Charlotte-Mecklenburg area, there are people standing behind me who have committed to ensure we are going to protect the people of this residence.
It's not going to work. Do you need a loan for your business? Well, if you've been around for over a year, I'm about to show you how to get up to $3 million.
We hope that includes all of you.
I want to show y'all something, okay? Read closely and understand why I go hard for us and us only. And this is why we got to take our seats back, okay?
Prime Minister of Somalia had to say about Ilhan Omar, them black people, with all that pro-blackity black talk, right? Check this out here in closing.
Somalia. It is very important in Ilhan tayo, Somali tayo, meeshaas lagu jiro. Qofki Soomaaliya oo aragtidiisu tahay nin madow ha qaato kursigaas ama qof ha qaato qof moodalkiisa wakaalisiiya. Marka taasna waa lagu dhiirigelinayaa sababtaan arrinkaas lagu soo celinaya shada Soomaalida oo u sheegay.
You saw that, right? Like, it don't get more specific than that, okay? These people know they're not black. They only use black to get them to a specific level in this country. They only use black for their own personal agenda, okay? So this is why I go hard for us. This is why we got to go hard for us. And this is why we got to take our fucking seats back, okay? Sign the petition in the bio family. Peace and blessings, y'all.
Why is it immigrants are not stopping reparations?
My ancestors come from the Caribbean, and there were slaves in the Caribbean, and we didn't
qualify for the American reparations.
Well, here's the challenge: there are so many difficulties with trying to enact reparations, in part because the question is who gets them. Potentially, I could fall into that category. I honestly have called a pipe dream in the past, and I think that's what it is.
Well, it would be nice if there was an elegant, simple solution to all sorts of complicated problems. You're not actually talking about how to fix those problems if you're only talking about reparations. If we're only debating how we're going to parcel out responsibility for something that happened more than a century ago. And we're probably never going to do this. It's not clear to me why we're pursuing this thing.
Is it fair that there's no reparations, no restitution, nothing?
Should the Irish get reparations, by the way? Irish need not apply signs when they came here during the progressive era. I mean, how far do we want to take this down? Are we acknowledging that there are ugly spots in history? Because 60% of the world would be entitled to slave reparations if you wanted to play that game.
Well, here's a fact. Slavery ended 154 years ago. It's been a long, long time since we had slavery in this country. And you have people like my family. I'm black, but my family came to the United States in 1962. My parents are from Costa Rica. Do I get a check?
I did a couple of essay contests that I actually won. And I won like NAACP AXO award for this essay and something else. I can't remember another, like I ended up winning money. And the essay was,
what's up?
do you think black people should get reparations?
What's good?
Reparations. And I was like, no, you didn't work for it.
Why are you so against reparations?
You sign what?
Valerie, it's a matter of a waste of time. We've got so much to do. And yet you have people who invest so much energy and attention on what I consider to be a dead end idea, a dead end movement.
They don't want us to. That's why we got all of these.
If we were to pay reparations today, we would only divide the country further. We would insult many Black Americans by putting a price on the suffering of their ancestors.
Fact.
My father's Panamanian. You have a lot of Black people in this country who are not descendants of the American slave trade.
Right.
So I already know off top, there's a lot of Black people in America who aren't going to be able to get that kind of benefit or get reparations.
Well, most people who are for reparations, they feel like it should go to what they call foundational Black Americans anyway.
And I agree with that point. I agree with that point. But I'm just saying, I'm just laying out, these are the reasons for why I'm no.
Look,
so while I'm now,
they do support reparations for what Leonard just deemed as, quote, foundational Black Americans.
No, I don't. No, but I want to explain that. I want to
explain. Get them out of
here. Ladies and gentlemen, is why we want to sever ties with these people. This is why. This man's name is Byron Donalds. He is a congressman, a Republican United States representative in the state of Florida. Do you know what congressmen do? They actually create bills, legislation, and basically they help to facilitate and make laws.
Facts,
what would reparations be? It could either be a bill or a law.
Tax.
And this motherfucker immediately no, because he's a Jamaican Panamanian. He's an immigrant, and he will not be able to get any of those benefits. And this is the issue. This is the issue. Why people that have the same hue of complexion as us, they get into positions of power and they undermine us. And this is why we say we don't want to fuck with them like that no more. Because we helped them to get into position. We did. Thinking that skin folk was kinfolk. And now we're starting to see clear as day that they will never, ever pass or put anything into play to solely benefit us. But they will do shit for immigrants. They will pass bills and laws for immigrants. They will allocate funds simply and strictly and only and exclusively for immigrants. Y'all see how that go? Y'all see how that go? Yeah, people keep saying we need unity, we need unity. What the fuck are we benefiting from these people? They don't even fuck with us. And when they get in positions where they could do something for us, they're gonna say no if they're not benefiting from it. But they will, like I said, we got to run it back again. They will do something that's going to only solely benefit them. We have to continue to wake the fuck up. We cannot keep letting this, we all the same hue of complexion, the cops gonna stop us and we all gonna get, it's a trick bag at this point. It's a trick bag. And there are so many of people with the same exact mindset in politics that have the ability to vote for certain bills and laws and have the ability to veto certain bills and laws. This is so fucked up. These people came over here because of what our ancestors been through, their blood, sweat, and tears. And this is the thanks that we get. He wouldn't even be able to sit where he's sitting right now had it not been for foundational Black Americans. He wouldn't even be able to wear that suit. He wouldn't be able to walk into the White House. He wouldn't be able to fucking sit on his high horse. He wouldn't even have that title. He wouldn't have been.
She definition of FBA. This is FBA all day. Like, standing on business.
Even been able to go to college. He wouldn't have even been able to come over here. It is a slap in the face and it is a fucking disrespect to our ancestors. And we have to do something about this. Us just talking about it, we're starting to get the ball rolling. We gotta keep this going because this really just made my blood boil. And a lot of them are in these positions. And they share these same exact sentiments. What y'all think about this? Spread love is
I really do not feel like, no, this ain't got nothing to do with feelings. I believe that people that are not from America should not be in Congress. They should not be in Congress at all. If you're not from the United States of America, you should not be in Congress, the Supreme Court. You should not be a judge. You should not at all. Like you
or downvote on an issue. You took a downvote on this, and you haven't supported HR 40. So if you want to talk about the complexities of reparations, whether or not there should be a study in this country, you again have said that this country is not racist, and even though it has a dark past, it doesn't sound like you think it has a dark present. You have not sponsored that bill. You haven't co-sponsored that bill. Why not?
Well, a couple things. One, that's why I wish you played the clip because I actually went to
Y'all talking about how beautiful the lady is. Did y'all hear anything that was coming out of her mouth? Salute, family. Putting in the work and standing up for FBA men and women and children. Oh, man, I appreciate that, bro. That's what we got to do, man. I appreciate y'all for supporting me, too.
You can explain it, but I will. A couple things is, all right, how many people in the United States today are actually descendants of slave owners? Forget descendants of slaves. Let's hold that to the side. Descendants of slave owners. You've had massive immigration into the United States over the last 150 years. So now you're going to say that people who immigrated to the United States, who are not descendants of slave owners, were not descendants of that trade, now they're going to be responsible for paying that out going forward. My mother's Jamaican. My father's Panamanian. You have a lot of Black people in this country who are not descendants of the American slave trade. So I already know off top, there's a lot of Black people in America who aren't going to be able to get that kind of benefit or get reparations.
Well, most people who are for reparations, they feel like it should go to what they call foundational Black Americans anyway.
And I agree with that point. But I'm just saying, I'm just laying out, these are the reasons for why I'm no. So while I'm saying now,
you do support reparations for what Leonard just deemed as, quote, foundational Black Americans?
No, I don't.
No.
But I want to explain that. And so that's why you have a lot of people saying, okay, well, then what are we going to do? And so my view is that what you do going forward is why you have to have wholesale changes in economic, medical policy, etc., so that the
Panamanian
How
and
can anyone
Jamaican.
deny these facts? Why is it immigrants are not stopping reparations?
My ancestors come from the Caribbean, and there were slaves in the
so then maybe
Caribbean, and we
wouldn't qualify for the American reparations.
Well, here's the challenge. There are so many difficulties with trying to enact reparations, in part because the question is
the son of a Jamaican father and a Panamanian mother. And this reasoning here is why we want y'all to help out our politics. Don't continue to black us and try to manipulate us or gaslight us into thinking that it is xeno.
I forgot to put a petition in my Black Caucus, y'all. I slipped on that. I was supposed to attach a petition to that video I did with the Black Caucus and make sure they not all in office. Next time I do that, I'm gonna have to put one up, and I'm gonna make one up in next video. I'm gonna just have it. But yeah, we gotta put it's an organization where you can have petitions. Yeah, they're gonna have to kick out their money because it's too much talk. There's people getting a little, it may get a little uncomfortable for some people if that check don't come.
Phobic, to not want to be represented by somebody that is not us. And no other group of people do y'all try to push this. And no other group of people do y'all want anybody but Asians representing Asians, Hispanic.
Okay, what you say, Mickey? Make you say redo the video and just add all of them. Jasmine, Byron Donald, I got you. Add all of them personally for like top 3.
Hispanics represent Hispanics. Y'all know exactly what y'all are doing. You feel what I'm saying? Anything that does not benefit y'all amongst us, y'all hinder. And this is a problem to us. To us. To us. You feel what I'm saying? You could always move back home and fight your government for what is owed to your people and your lineage, but y'all will never plan on moving back. This y'all got in cahoots about. Y'all never going to leave. Therefore, anything that y'all can't benefit from or weasel y'all way into, y'all want to hinder. Y'all want to black us. You feel what I'm saying? You feel what the fuck I'm saying? It's mighty funny how y'all like to play stupid conveniently. Nobody knows what a real true Black American is. Nobody knows what a foundational Black American is. Nobody knows what this lineage-based cult is. But it's mighty funny. The moment that y'all enter our politics, y'all smarten the fuck up instantly. Y'all understand instantly who we are, what you cannot benefit from, and what you can. And as long as we say skin is skin, y'all can benefit and y'all are in. Y'all understand this completely once y'all into politics. How the hell that work? How the hell y'all dumping in a box of rocks until y'all enter some shit that can affect us? How the hell that work? Yes. Y'all represent immigrants. Okay? And only in Hispanic politics, Hispanics are represented by Hispanics. In Asian politics, Asians are represented by Asians. And yet the Black Caucus is filled up with immigrant children who are against anything for foundational Black Americans that they can't benefit from.
Straight up, I just went through the whole list. All immigration.
Oh boy, okay.
Y'all ain't nothing but a new and improved version of Christopher Columbus. Y'all can try to flip this either way you want to, any way you want to. But anybody who can move to a different country and actively participate in hindering a group of people, that's colonization, my brother, no matter which way you put it.
I don't believe anyone is an illegal alien. That's a terrible term to use about anyone.
It's a legal term.
It's not a legal term. They used to call Black people slaves legally.
Do y'all hear this crap, bro?
And it was wrong.
Now, why is you mixing our pain, our trauma into what someone that's not a citizen here. Very disrespectful, bro. This is embarrassing.
Let's stop dehumanizing people. Let's start treating people right.
Immigrants should not be in American politics at all. When they do run for office, the first thing they do is scream out their country of origin. I feel like they should be here for a number of years before they're even allowed to run, or not at all.
Not at all. Hell no.
They don't have the interest of the American people at heart. And that goes for Black Americans and foundational white Americans. They do not have the best interest of the American people at heart at all. It's treason to get online and win something, or get in front of a public office and tell them, I think my country of Cuba, or whatever country they're from, I don't think it's safe, and you cannot go to their country and do the same. If we were to go to another country and run for office in that country, the people would take us out in the street and burn us. We would not be able to be in their politics at all. We also shouldn't be able to allow them to buy land here, because there's certain countries that do not allow the American people or any other immigrant to go, a foreigner, period, to go to their country and buy land. You can lease the land, but at the end of the day, that land goes back to the people of that country. I don't understand how we are so lax-a-daisy, and look at us now. It doesn't make sense. Florida, stand up.
This is nonsense, and my opponent will not come forward and say anything. And then last night you saw that they equated bathroom opportunities with me being Black in America, and here I am, second in command of the former capital of the Confederacy. Me, the immigrant, whom they say as Democrats they love more than anybody. Me, a Black woman who they say they love as Democrats more than anybody. This is insane.
I think this is a very important moment during Black History Month that we focus on Black immigrants, and specifically Cameroonians, because as we know, 1 in 5 African-American families right now are either from an immigrant family or they're the first generation immigrant family. So Black people are super important.
Ahorita estamos en un momento muy importante, el mes de la historia negra, y qué mejor manera que hablar y ilustrar a los inmigrantes negros, especialmente de Camerún.
I'm a lawyer.
That says justice for Black immigrants. So what they do is they're basically using us, bro. They're using all our civil rights, everything, and they're using the word Black.
And I'm here to tell you that Cameroon meets all the requirements to have TPS granted to them by this administration, and it is a choice to grant TPS.
Yo soy un abogado y estoy aquí para decirles hoy que Camerún llena todos los requisitos para TPS. TPS es una decisión y ellos no la están haciendo.
How do you process Black immigration?
Well, even Marcus Garvey, who was originally from Jamaica, was against mass
and was deported back to Jamaica.
Yeah, he was against mass immigration. Yeah, listen, it's about heritage. It's about our lineage. Who are we? We're Black Americans. I can trace my family back, my ancestors back to the 1700s. Okay, so we're Black Americans. We have been here since the founding of the country. That matters, does it not? Does it matter that our parents, our ancestors were here since the founding, since the 1600s, since the 1700s? Is that relevant? Is that significant? Yes, I think it is.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Look, people who break the law, break the law. I don't care if you're orange.
Right.
If you come over here, you come over here illegally, you're still taking a job. Let's keep in mind that you have employers who will prefer illegal immigrants over natural citizens. And that is still the case, even if their skin is darker than mine.
Hold on, the chat, he said, man, this makes him boil when he's not even American. It makes you boil on what side? That immigrants can come in here and get in the office, or that Americans are upset that immigrants are in the office? What are you upset about? Honestly, watching this boils my blood, and I'm not even American, and I'm not American. I want to get your perspective on that. Much respect, but let them go, man. I'm gonna open up the lines after this video so y'all can get off y'all points on it.
So it's still hurting everyone. And then a lot of the illegal immigrants that come over here and their skin is dark, they don't see themselves as being the same as I am. They don't identify with the Black American experience.
Because they have their culture.
Because that's completely different. And so that still has a significant impact.
Just to let everybody know, I'm gonna be dropping another video canceling the Black Caucus and some Democrat, but I'm gonna add in the petitions because I didn't add in the petition last time. So every cancellation video I know now, I apologize. We're gonna add a petition so that we can make noise and spread it and really cause something, because we got to start doing something with some action.
Impact on the financial stability and ability of individuals who come from that lineage in the American experience, their ability to pull themselves out of the lower rungs of society.
You know, Donna and Kathleen, your comments are very much consistent with comments that are made by Black leaders and Black newspapers 100 years ago. Mm-hmm. Du Bois, at the same time he's making the comment, they said that the cutting off of white labor has been the salvation of Black workers. But at the same time, in that same article, he said, he did kind of say, unfortunately, sort of had a little race consciousness. He says, unfortunately, that means Blacks from the Caribbean are cut off too. But he goes, he distinguished that was a racial issue, but African Americans are not about race; it's about history. And the key thing was the history was the people whose families came through slavery, and for so the point of these Black leaders and newspapers 100 years ago was that
common sense.
Immigration policy should be about helping.
It's about common sense.
African Americans,
not
based on their race, but based on their experience, and it had not their heritage, and it had nothing to do with helping somebody who happened to be Black from some other country.
Right.
So anyway, that it's just very interesting hearing your talk because it fits so much with whether basically. I'm sure that you can find leaders that were more race conscious, but one of the things that I found in some of my recent studies is that the Black leaders and editors, they work so hard to really get away from racial distinctions and idea of race, because that was something that this whole idea of scientific racism had been so harmful to African Americans. And as it turns out, the scientific community eventually got out of that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, my ancestors didn't slave and sweat and toil and all that hard work that they did for Joanne Reed to have a job. She's from the Congo. They worked for Black Americans to have jobs. They did all that for Black Americans, not people from the Congo who are first generation Americans. Not even Kamala Harris, who's Indian American and Jamaican.
Very telling.
My ancestors didn't work for Kamala Harris to have these benefits. They worked for Black Americans to have benefits. I think even Obama is not even a Black American. This is why using color, the skin color, is not sufficient.
It's American experience.
It's confusing.
Right.
And this is why I say white Americans and Black Americans.
She's so right, bro. They're using skin color so we can feel like it's somebody that's one of us, but they're not one of us. The whole mindset is different. That's why I was so mad after Barack Obama was because I was so like, president is Black. Then I remember just riding through the city and hanging out with and then after I realized the policies and stuff, I'm like, dang, I felt like I got taken advantage of. And this is how I'm feeling now with seeing all of these immigrants in office. It's like they taking advantage of us.
Been in America the longest since its founding. And that is significant. That matters. That history matters. And so this is why, You know, and I don't know why so many, and you know, I want to get into this issue about Black women, Black American women supporting. I know it's nonprofit, but Black American women don't understand what's, most of them, some do, but most of them don't understand. They think everything is about skin color. And that's a superficial analysis of the situation. They're not looking at the history. They don't know the history. And they're just so wedded to the political left position, embracing all of their policies. And their policies have been detrimental to Black America. They need to get away from that embrace of all these policies that are the detriment. So what I'm thinking, they're not doing their homework. They're not reading this cast your bucket where you are. Cast down your bucket where they're not reading this history. They're being superficial. They're just watching the television and going along with what the politicians say. That is not sufficient.
So as you can see, a lot of people, well, a lot of Black Americans are wondering,
she real FBA, man.
Why are
like,
there Black immigrants?
How she talking on that panel, that lady is real FBA. Salute to her. You know what I mean? But salute to that lady. But I'm gonna open it up a little bit, man, so y'all could get it in. I got something with the feds, how they knocked out our leaders. What's up, Call Dog? Call Dog in the building. Salute, salute. They don't want us to have reparations. Wait, Trump dropped a survey? No, he dropped a survey. I don't know about that. But I wanted y'all to check this out before we check out how they, you know, why they got these people from another country, and because of our leaders. We need politicians like that sister. Yeah, man, that sister stood on business, bro. If we can get, if all our petitions was like her, I'll be fine with what's going on. But until we get women talking like that, if you ain't talking like that, I don't know what to tell you. We don't need you. We don't need you. We don't need you.
Targeting communists. But by the mid-1960s, COINTELPRO turned its full attention toward the Black liberation movement. The FBI did more than keep people under watch. They planted informants, spread lies, used intimidation, and were involved in actions that sometimes ended in violence.
Yeah.
Yes, this actually happened. It was carried out, recorded, and had real consequences. The stories we'll cover in this video are not just about the FBI. They're about the Black leaders whose lives were disrupted and in some cases destroyed. Leaders who dared to challenge a country still gripped by white supremacy. Give this video a like to show your support. And let's begin with one of its earliest and most watched figures. A man whose belief in nonviolence made him a target anyway. Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. was arguably the most famous civil rights leader of the 20th century. And, as it turned out, one of COINTELPRO's prime targets. By the late 1950s, Dr. King had risen to national prominence, advocating nonviolent resistance to end segregation.
Out, man. Y'all look out.
He led the 1955 to 1956 Montgomery bus boycott, and in 1957 co-founded the Southern Christian Leadership Conference to coordinate civil rights campaigns across the South. King's philosophy of nonviolence and his appeals to American ideals made him a widely respected figure, culminating in the 1963 March on Washington, where he delivered his "I Have a Dream" speech. But King's popularity and influence also alarmed J. Edgar Hoover's FBI. In the Bureau's eyes, the civil rights movement threatened the status quo, and they were eager to find grounds to undermine its leader. As early as the founding of the SCLC in 1957, the FBI began monitoring King and his associates, initially justifying the surveillance by alleging communist influence in the movement. One internal memo in October 1956 folded the FBI's ongoing surveillance of Black leaders.
So, we got one of y'all wanting to call in. We need a family register word for ancient China. You put Rob, don't answer his call. Oh Lord. It's a troll.
Into the COINTELPRO program on the premise that the civil rights movement was infiltrated by communists. Key King associates like advisor Stanley Levison and organizer Bayard Rustin were flagged, and through them, King himself came under FBI scrutiny. Hoover's personal distrust of King soon grew into open animus. In August 1963, the March on Washington drew 250,000 supporters, and King's oratory captivated the nation, an event that Hoover saw as a tipping point. After that march, Hoover singled out King.
Ain't let him in, but what? You don't want me to? No, don't let him in. He said, "Why are Somalian people in there with this nonsense?" Hey man, look, they can't have you on. I gotta boot you off, homie. Let me kick you off real quick. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's what they say. So you up out of here, bro. Back to the business. Okay, we got somebody else. Ursa. I got somebody else. Let me see what they on. Ursa, what's good?
Well, hey, FBA fam.
FBA family. Okay, we good.
Okay.
I got you
Yeah.
on. What you want to state? What point you want to bring on about the video?
Oh,
The whole chat said, "Hey, they happy to hear from you. Go ahead. We want to hear from you."
Oh, okay. So, well, there's a couple of issues and statements that I have.
Okay.
I'm having like a.
What, your audio going in and out?
Okay, hold on, because it's like a 1 second delay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
We can hear you.
So one thing with the FBA, and I'm FBA.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay, I'm FBA on both sides. I'm FBA on both sides of my family. My family came here. One side came in 1698 and was dragged into New Amsterdam, which is now New York.
Okay.
And then when they abolished enslavement in New York in 1998, instead of them being freed, they were one sold to Mississippi and one sold to Tennessee.
Oh.
Okay. So one thing I have with people knowing history, YTs and these minority immigrants, they don't know history. And they always think that we were that they only had enslavement in the South. You know what I mean?
So you saying they had it in the North too, heavy?
All 13 colonies had enslavement. Right. Massachusetts was the first one to codify enslavement in 1623.
Right.
1623.
Okay.
Connecticut had the most enslaved at one time. The most.
Wow.
This was before 1776.
Right. So you saying we've been here and we.
But see, one thing that we have let slip and slide is not having any pride and any knowledge of our history
from this land. Yeah.
And not standing as an American.
Mm-hmm. An American.
You know, we have let everyone else tell our history.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people and a lot of these minorities. Now, I don't know. I keep up on politics. I keep up on politics, and I'm a historian in my family. I'm 63 years old, and I'm an Air Force veteran. I've been around. But like today, the lady that is over the Civil Rights Division, she is from India. She's from India.
Oh my God!
And their family didn't get here till the 1980s. Right. And she is trying to tell us our history.
No, that can't happen. Can
you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
All right. So So today she said that Whitey has been discriminated against in 50 years. She is an Indian.
Right. She can't speak for us. Right. She can't speak for us.
And she should not even be in that office.
Right.
Just like Vivek Ramaswamy, that racist. But that racist, I don't know. Do you know Vivek Ramaswamy, the one that's he's trying to be the Ohio governor. He's an anchor baby.
Right. Wall Street was a slave trader. Yeah, he's an anchor baby. Yep. And that's
a lot of people don't know that. And his parents are illegal.
Right,
a lot of these Indians that are here, that are Cash Patel.
Yeah, Indian. I was just saying that on my channel. I was saying I don't like seeing all of these people from other countries.
Cash Patel is an immigrant. They only been here. They still got curry behind their ears.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Right. I'm with you. I'm standing, and that's what we doing. We making petitions on this channel. We really trying to stand for something and bring awareness and stop all of this. We got a petition we're gonna come out that's gonna say that we don't want no immigrants to be in office. And we're gonna be pushing for it. We appreciate your passion though. Don't forget you still
yeah, but
there?
the thing is, but see, the thing is, this is our fault.
Yeah, it's our fault. We got to fix it ourselves, Ursa. We definitely
and really, I have to. And but see, it's the older people my age that has made it the way it is.
Right.
I'm gonna land my plane. Thank you, Thank you, brothers.
We love you. Appreciate you, FBA family. Okay, we got somebody else on here. Matt, what's up? Barack Drummer, you next. Hold on, bro.
How's it going, brother?
What's going on, Matt?
Doing good, man. It's a topic continuing on the same stuff, or you're just talking about the immigrants in general?
Continuing on the same stuff. Where you from?
I'm from Africa.
I'm from Africa. Okay. So how you feel about the what topics you want to touch on?
No, I obviously the topic that happened recently about the fraud scandal for sure, but also I think you guys are just generally talking about how Africans are coming in, kind of taking over the name, African American without having put in the work.
Yeah, most definitely. Our ancestors fought for immigrants to be able to come over here, and when they come over here, they talk about us bad, and they don't show respect and definitely pay homage for them being able to be over here. That's how we feel right now.
Absolutely. No, and I respect that. I mean, even though I don't live in America, I live in Canada. The only reason I'm in Canada is because of the civil rights movement that you guys fought in America. It spread throughout the West. So really, without what you guys did in America, opening the gates, I wouldn't be able to come to Canada either. So I salute you guys for that. However, I do have it's not even a beef with you guys. I don't have no beef with you guys, to be honest with you. I know some groups from African descent might think they're better or whatever, but I personally don't. I don't have any issues with FBAs. To be honest with you, the only group I would F with are FBAs, because they're the only groups that don't think in terms of ethnicity. They think in terms of color and complexion. Like right now, you look, to be honest with you, brother, you look like a guy like who's East African, but FBAs, they come in different shapes, different skin tones, different complexions, but you guys all accept each other, which is a good thing. That's something that Africa's lacking big time.
Definitely. I mean, we always been the leaders. If we look at, y'all had the Black Panther Party in Africa and everything that, we kind of start, and it kind of takes a trend around the world. But for some reason, everybody want to downplay us, and they don't want to give us the right respect of what our ancestors did here, which is crazy. Like, why would you want to be like that?
I think it's because a lot of people I think you have to excuse a lot of the Africans because they don't read up on history. Like me, I've read the autobiography of Malcolm X. I've read up a lot of history of African Americans simply because of the fact that I was born in the West. So I'm more connected culturally to you guys than I am to back home, even though I'm a second generation. But culturally, I feel more closeness to you guys,
to FBA,
right? You know what I mean? So I've read the autobiography of Malcolm X. I've read up on different other leaders of your movements, and like I said, I think, but I do agree with you. You should, as the culture now is becoming more diversified. Like back in the days, it made sense to think in terms of complexion, whereas now you have to think in terms of your ethnicity. It's good to be like, okay, FBA first instead of just black first now. I do agree with that. For the salvation of your group, I do believe that, because groups like Nigerians, Somalis, they're coming in not with that same mindset, right? We're coming in with our ethnicities. Like the Nigerians themselves, they don't come in as Nigerian per se. They come in as Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, whatever, right? So each guy, they're coming in with their ethnic group. So, and in terms of like the fraud stuff, personally, I have no issues with that, because that was, that was towards that affected, if it affected FBAs more, I'd have a problem with it. But the fact that it didn't affect FBAs, but it affected the whites more, I have no problems with that personally. I don't know. What's your take on that?
Yes, we have big problems with it, because you using the money that was we already trying to fight and get our rights here. So we don't want no immigrant stealing. It's our money. It's like if anybody's stealing, we want them out of here, because this is our money. We're trying to get our money back. So you're stealing from us. Even if you steal from them, you're stealing from us, because they owe us. It's like somebody owing you money and then somebody steal from them. It's like you're stealing from me because I'm trying to get money from these people. You get what I'm saying?
But if you stole from them in that same manner, I'd be like, that's a hella flex. I wouldn't even complain about that. You know what I mean? Like,
no, you should have gave it all to the indigenous people. If you was gonna steal the money, you should have been like, okay, hey, FBA, I got y'all, man. Y'all look, I got y'all here. That was the only thing you could have did that made anything right. If you doing anything else to help your people, nah, because we made it so you can come here. So we should have been the first person that you looked out for. If you ain't do that, then we don't care. You get what I'm saying?
I feel you. So they should have at least, well, technically speaking, I don't know if you might have to fact check this, but I know the mayor, for example, the mayor of St. Paul, he's FBA, correct?
The mayor?
The mayor of St. Paul and the attorney general of Minnesota. They're both FBA, I believe. And they were voted in by, I believe.
Even if they FBA, bro, that don't mean nothing right now. But because we calling out FBAs too, because they're being paid off. So we trying to clean house. It ain't about if they FBA or not. They could be FBA lineage, but they gotta stay on code. If you on code, you in good graces with us. If you off code, we gotta cancel you. But go ahead and land your plane, man. I got Barack Drama on. I'm trying to get on, and I got 2 more people just tapped in.
All right, bro. No worries. I just wanted to say I was the MM guy. I had to come with a different name, so.
Oh yeah,
but all good, bro. All good.
Man, that's Mickey. Them name what you want, but go ahead. I ain't know what was going on.
I just like chatting with you because you look like Nipsey Hussle a little bit. You got that East African in you, I think.
Man, people be saying that, but that's what's up, man. Let me get Barack Drama on. All right, bro. Barack Drama, what's good?
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Nah, I just you know what I think the issue is? I just think black people around the world, we have to get on code with reparations because it's due in Jamaica. I'm a FBA, but it's due in Jamaica, it's due in Haiti, it's due everywhere. So we just got to get on code instead of I'm Black American and you West Indian American and you this and I'm that. We got to get on code, and that'll solve the whole issue.
That definitely is solve the issue, but they not on code.
No, well, that's the problem. Then, because like I said, I'm gonna keep it real with you. I didn't know what the FBA. I learned all of this stuff basically COVID. After COVID, I didn't know what the FBA was. I didn't know till Queen Elizabeth died what they did over there to the Africans and to the Indians and all those. So people just need to solve all of these debates with the guy, because with the guy from Florida, what's his name, Brian, whatever his name is, Bryson, that's running for governor down there. The people like him.
He ain't from Florida too.
He's from Brooklyn. That's why I'm from Brooklyn too. But I'm saying I know a little bit about him. I don't like him. I don't like what he stands for. I don't wish no bad on him. I wish him the best. But my point is, it's the people like him. They just got to get on code that is worldwide. Forget about FBA. Forget about Jamaican. Forget about Trinidadian. Forget about anything. It's just across the world. Once they get on code with that, it's not even a debate. Say that, look what they did to their people there. I didn't know nothing about Argentina trying to exterminate the blacks in Dominican Republic during the 40s. They tried to whiten the country. They were killing the Haitian people or anybody that was Dominican that looked Haitian. So if you know your history, the way I'm learning, because I'm not a historian, this wouldn't even be a discussion. It's almost like, let me just say this. There was debates when COVID came out, where there was a lot of people that were anti-vaxxers. And how I stopped the debates with the blacks, look what they did to us during the Tuskegee experiment. So if you for the virus, I'm with you, and I understand. If you're against it, you don't even have to explain. It has to be that kind of mindset. If they listen to me, I could solve this whole debate in one sentence. Everybody got to get on code. We were violated because of the anti-blackness, anti-African, or whatever you want to call it, across the world. And we got to get on code is reparations due worldwide. And once they say that, it's not even a debate.
So check this out though. On my channel, I kind of want to expose the people that since 1971, I did a video and showed since 1971, they've been had relations with Africa. Like pretty much we've been sending money to Africa. We've been kind of having a lot of operations done. I don't know if you know about Bill Gates or a lot of people, but a lot of money gets funded to Africa, and it's so controlled already. So my point is, it's like us asking people who've been snitches and told on people to stay on code. It's like it's hard to tell somebody who done told on 30 people and they already mindset messed up to be like, hey man, you got to get on code. It's like they're already brainwashed to be off code. So we so friendly, we be like, yeah, we can get them on, but we don't understand that these people done programmed these people to be a direct enemy to the system of what we trying to build.
Understood. Agreed.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's almost like, but my only problem with FBAs is like, for example, one of my favorite non-FBAs probably in this whole planet is a woman named Amanda Seals. She's not the FBA, but that lady is more on code probably than I am because of the way she thinks. And it's just a mindset that needs to be changed. Because if you want to go through history, I heard Malcolm X, for example, wasn't an FBA. I met his daughter. I met his daughter this summer and actually had a conversation with her because they named the train station after him, 110th Street. You can do your research if you don't believe me. The governor signed it and everything. And technically speaking, he's not even an FBA as far back as like my family, but he was on code. So everybody just got to get on code. And once they get on code, it wouldn't even be a discussion. It has to be a unified mindset. Listen, those people were violated in Jamaica. Those people their land was stolen from them in Haiti. Those people were violated in America, South Africa. You just got to get on code like that. It shouldn't even be. I don't even understand why it's a debate. If you know your history,
it's a debate because not everybody is got that bread of code of ethics on how to take care of your, how to handle your people and relations. And it's hard, bro, to get people to get on code and to know that they're on code. It's dangerous. You kind of gotta, I don't know. I mean, I just don't feel like us just saying we gotta get everybody on code. I think that they're gonna have to see the code. Like they done seen the code before with the Black Panther Party, with Malcolm X. We know what the code is. So if you're not living to the code at this point, you're choosing not to be on code.
Exactly.
And that's not something we can't make you be on code. It's like you either on code or you're not, because there's some FBAs that's not on code. They in political office. They don't speak for us. They with the people that's taking money out of our pocket. So we got a clean house, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's tough, but it's like this is what's needed. We gotta get to the real people that got that liberation spirit. You know what I mean? In office.
Yeah, that's all I say to that, because I don't want to go back and forth. Like sometimes people, when you disagree with people, like I go on in the daytime, there's a guy that comes on, he stays on all day, sometimes 8 hours, Chaotic Truth. He said he's an FBA, but I don't think he's an FBA, but he said he's like a conservative. And a lot of those people on his platform, and I don't speak for everybody, I'm just saying, they're like not on code with some of the things that they say. Or sometimes you have people that's brainwashed or whitewashed, however you want to say it, to say, well, that was a long time ago. But history has a lot to do with your past, has a lot to do with your future. So we're so far behind because of Jim Crow laws and stuff like that, that we need that boost. Even if it's free education, land, it don't necessarily have to be money, or just to get back on just to catch up to where we should be. That's something that, and I don't just mean that. I don't just mean that in America. I mean that just across the world, because it's like in Latin America, in South Africa, or wherever it is, there was an anti-black sentiment. So we need to. Everybody just needs to get on code with that. Stop calling each other out your name. When you disagree, cursing at me and all that other stuff. You got to be intelligent and be an intellect to be able to debate and agree to disagree. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I go at it with the MAGAs all the time, because one guy said to me, it was a black person, well, what could they do that I can't do? I'm a black man. I can't be president and have 34 felonies.
Right.
You can, and I had to tell a black MAGA that you can't in New York City, that new Indian mayor Mandami, he hired somebody on his team that's an ex-con, and the Jewish press or the white press, however you want to say it, is making a big issue out of it. And my response was, well, how come y'all didn't make a big issue out of a felon president? Why is it a problem now that it's a convicted felon? He's a black man or a man of color. This is the hypocrisy that you got to deal with these people. They make up stuff that's convenient for them. When it's them doing something wrong, they look the other way, and then when you do something wrong, they want to make it front page news. They put the guy on the front page news of the Post. The guy that Mandami hired as his I don't know what specifically what his title is, but he does something to do with transition team, because they're transitioning in New York, I think in January. So they got some guy that's turned his life around. When he was young, made some mistakes, and then got rehabilitated, right. And now he's doing this thing, and now the same press that'll say, well, why don't you get a job, is going at it. That's like, these people are hypocrites. And some of the liberals.
Go ahead and land your plane, man. We got 3 more people on.
Oh yeah. Listen, I would. You know what I thought? I thought it was going to be a panel. Yeah. So I apologize to everybody else. I just want to say peace. Thanks for bringing me up. I watch you sometime. I support by watching and liking a lot of black media, even conservative sometimes when I don't agree with them. But let me go, man. Listen, thanks for having me up, man. Appreciate it.
Yep. Salute.
All right.
2 cents. What's good, bro? Corey, I got you next, bro.
Yeah, what's up, bro? Yeah, I wish it was some of them could stay up there, because I don't want to comment. I don't really like commenting after somebody leave, because they can't rebut what we saying.
Right. I wish I could have kept. Hold on, I got Barack. I can bring Barack.
Yeah, he good. He good.
You on there, Barack?
Oh, I'm still here.
Yeah. Hold on, you good? 2 cents wanted to rebuttal one of your stuff.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. I'm all ears.
Yeah. See, I'm understanding the game and what's going on now at this point in time, but I have to be careful when speaking to people. I'm like, man, some of the stuff is subjective, and if I say something objective, that it is what it is, because we got our own personal beliefs, our own biasness and personal feelings. And a lot of times we can get caught up on that. Bro said Amanda Seals. I was like, and then you was talking about own code and stuff. I said, bro, look, Most people can't even keep their woman on code, let alone their family. And then you talking about a nation, and you talking about a nation of people trying to. I'm like, it's not as easy as what you think.
I know.
So
I agree.
yeah. So we know it's not an easy task. But at the end of the day, when we're moving forward, it's some things you're gonna have people that's gonna get in your obstacles are always gonna be in your way.
Correct.
But that code stuff, and they're like, this is the reason why some people, it's subjective because it's my personal belief, but what I'm gonna say, I do have some disdain for the Africans, the Haitians, the Caribbeans they saw us here getting brutalized for centuries. Tell me the time you saw them, you got a college fund or a scholarship, and that shit said from Ghana or from South Africa. They're gonna help people getting brutalized by the police over here. Man, yeah. I have some disdain and a certain taste in my mouth. No, yeah, you different than me at this point in time. So you got to understand where a lot of people coming from. No, I ain't trying to do that Pan-Africanism and all that. Man, no, because I already know, bro, they watched us suffer and burn, but I promise you, they didn't know we was gonna be what we are today and was able to prosper. Ain't nobody on this planet that can tell you and tell you how they prospered objectively. I'm talking about objective. I can prove it. How we did in the United States. We're a blueprint. I know that. I know. I already know that at this point in time in my life because I done seen enough. I got enough information, enough data. It's not subjective at this point. It's objective. But man, you really think I'm gonna let you spit on me, not help me? I know we were sending 30 cent, 35 cent to Africa and all this kind of stuff. And, getting our tax money and stuff like that. That did, okay, I don't care if it wasn't enough. Tell me what Africa was doing for you as an FBA. You tell me that as a foundational black, you can do what you do, but at the end of the day, why you think I'm buddy with you? When y'all left us here to suffer, and you buried us, but you didn't know we were seeds. We all prospered, and I'm gonna stop right there so he can get his comment. I don't want you to lose your train of thought.
Okay,
go ahead.
Get one off, man. Then we got Corey Green and them men. Go ahead, get one off, Barack Obama.
No, what he's talking historically. We haven't had the help, but the only thing we could do is learn from what. Because I agree with everything he said. I don't disagree with anything he said. The only thing I could say is we got to learn from that and move forward, because we can't do nothing about moving back. Whatever happened yesterday, we can't do nothing. The only thing we can try to do is move forward for tomorrow, because he's right about what he said, and we need to learn from that and move across the board. I'm talking about Pan-Africanism or FBAs or whatever you want to call it, Caribbean, Jamaican, African. We got to go from today, December 10th, 11th, 2025, and move forward and learn from what happened before so that it doesn't repeat itself. That's the good thing about history. You can look at it and critique it and try to move forward. You can't keep dwelling on it because there's nothing you can do about it.
Yes, it is. Okay. Yeah. Hey, I know you about to, hey, hold on. Let me, before I lose that track, I know you about to bring him up. But see, no, we can. See, you can do what you did. You can't erase what you did.
I agree with that.
Yeah, you can't erase it's some things in life you can't. Look, okay, you did that. Right. I'm not gonna bash you and do all this stuff to you and all that. But at the end of the day, I can't forget what you did.
Agreed.
I can forgive what you did. I'm never gonna forget. I take that as a spit in the face. You tell me still to this day that Africans are not here to help you. Talk to any of them. They don't like you. I'm like, why y'all not picking up on code and you trying
to? We understand that. We understand that. Nobody's
Oh
in disagreement.
yeah, Mexicans and Jamaicans, they're here for their people, rightfully so and stuff. But once you figure out what the hell is going on, you be like, damn. Because I know what a moving spirit is and how black FBAs, how we move them people. Man, I know black people that they move in a white people because they know what their mama, them own, whatever they doing. And it's in our spirit. I know who God's chosen people are. I ain't about to play games with it. If you want to play and not figure out, that's your journey in life. But when you figure it out, you'll say thank you. But go ahead, bro.
All right, hold on. We got Corey. Hold on, we got Corey, man. I want to get Corey to get in.
Yeah, go ahead, Corey. I'm gonna shut up.
Can I be heard?
Yep, you can be heard.
Yes, sir.
Do your thing.
All right. So I just want to ask, like, because there's one thing to talk with these Pan-African fantasies and all this, we're gonna have flying spaceships together, we're gonna hold hands and drink tea. And the reality of the situation is most of the people talking like this have never left the United States, have never gone to Africa. And those of you who have gone to Africa haven't stayed a long enough time to understand the culture and the people. And you don't know the history either, because if you look at history of West Africa, East Africa, Southern Africa, the reason that they were able to be conquered and decimated and made irrelevant in their homelands is because they do not operate together in the first place. They operate off of tribalism, clanism, culturalism, religion. These are the things that they use to divide each other. They're human beings. Human beings are going to find something to divide each other. As Black Americans, since race is such a huge thing in America, it's so important in America, we developed the Pan-African mindset, right? Martin Delaney and some of these other people back in the day during the Reconstruction era. The problem is when you start talking about we need to work together, we got to look past the past and all this old stuff. How do you look past the past when the same thing that was happening in the past is happening today?
Nobody said look past. You put words.
Again, I've lived in Kenya.
From it.
I've lived in Namibia. I've lived in South Africa. The reason that they're so fractured and able to be economically dominated by Indians and other groups is because they allow it. They would rather an Indian or a Chinaman come over or a Jew come over and run things than have a Kikuyu person run things because they don't like Kikuyu because for whatever reason, whatever tribal beefs or blood feuds they got going on. So you got to deal with reality. When you start talking about, kumbaya and we all black and everybody's anti-black, I'm not worried about everybody. We're talking about America. We're saying we have a separate lineage. We have a separate identity, a separate history. These claims are all factually true. And we're not going to have somebody from Cameroon coming over pretending to be one of us. That's totally illogical. It's disrespectful to my ancestors. And truth be told, them's fighting words. For somebody to come over and tell me, well, we don't know who you guys don't exist as a group, but you're coming over pretending to be us. You're using our history as a launching pad to get to where you want to get, to be around white people. Because that's really what it boils down to. Again, and I'm saying this as somebody who lived there. I'm not saying this is not conjecture. This ain't subjective. This ain't secondhand. This is first person observation. Right. I need you dudes to start traveling. Stop having these conversations about politics and travel the world and see how the world actually works. And then when you see how the world actually works, you'll understand that tribalism is the way that the world works. It doesn't operate off of race. The only place that race matters is in America because we made it that way, because we put on for black people globally. These other people in these other nations, they're not putting on for nobody else globally. Yeah. Okay, you got tribalism in Thailand. You got the Thai people versus this people. You got in China, you have different ethnic groups of people. It's about ethnicity. It's not about race anymore. It's 2025. So niggas coming with this old 1980s game, we are the world, we black. Bro, that's out. I'm saying this as a 32-year-old millennial. I have a little brother and two little sisters. I don't want my little sisters to have to compete for jobs with Africans who just got over here who hate them because they're light skinned. That's not what we gonna do, bro. People gotta, again, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna land my plane. See the world. Stop talking from behind the computer screen and thinking you're an expert because you read a book or an article. Go see how they operate in their homeland. And you will see that these are not people that we want around us, bro. These are not people that we want around us. Now, if there was a Pan-African, if Thomas Sankara was still alive, if Kwame Nkrumah was still alive, if Patrice Lumumba was still alive, then we could have these conversations. But unfortunately, these people work with intelligence agencies. They work with the Belgians in the Congo to undermine their own selves. The Sahel right now. They always talk about how great the Sahel is doing. They just bend the knee to the Russians right now. The Russians don't have no respect for black people. So how you telling me I need to unite with somebody who's uniting with my enemy? What sense does that make? That's not
No,
pragmatic.
we
It's
didn't.
not
We didn't
politically,
say that. We
militarily,
said
realistic in any way.
no.
So this whole thing, well, we all black and we all got to get along.
You went off subject.
That's Trojan goose talk.
No, you
That's
went off
war
subject.
talk. That's
I
undermining
said.
talk.
I
That's
said.
my homeland has failed, and I want more benefits for me personally.
No.
So I'm gonna undermine it instead of because really, truth be told, all that shit is just used to talk about what they can get personally.
Hey,
As a
come back.
personal
Hey,
person,
Landon,
you can say, well,
Landon.
I'm gonna just come to America and then I'm gonna pretend to be black American and I'm gonna traffic off being a black American person, and I'm gonna use that leverage, that moral and political clout to put myself in a certain position as an individual.
Love.
Because when you look at these people, these different people that even Water God was just showing in the video, they're not doing nothing for their family back home. They're not doing anything. Just because you send money, just sending money back home, that's not the end all be all, bro. You have to teach people morals. You have to teach people principles. You have to teach people the understanding of self and history. And I can tell you for a fact, Africans don't know shit about their history. Them Hamites over there do not know their history. Okay, they're languishing in filth. They're languishing in these third world areas. Okay, where it's just messy. Paternity fraud. Everybody's having children out of wedlock. You got genocides. You got tribal wars. There's no uniting with that, bro. Stop telling people to unite with these people who are not organized. If they organize and do something for themselves,
Hey,
they have access to the entire landmass of their country. They control the resources.
Hey,
There's
bro,
no reason
hold
why there's
on.
poor people in Africa. There's no
You
excuse for it, bro.
frustrated. Hey, Landon,
These people
bro,
are
you
colonized
frustrated.
mentally.
Hey,
You go to
get
Africa
it.
and they will tell you, they'll look you dead in your face and tell you the European brought civilization to Africa. So,
Yeah,
so
hold
the
on,
first
bro.
civilizations on the
We
planet, we
get
all
it,
know
bro.
we're
Hey,
in
you get it.
that
Hold
area, the
on.
Middle East and African area, right, of the world. We're all agreed upon it. That's
Yeah,
a
hold
fact.
on.
So how you now coming to me 2,000 years later and telling me that the white man brought civilization to Africa, and we all know that some of the first civilizations were in Africa. But you're telling me as an African person in Africa in 2025 that the European who was domesticated by Moorish people, North Africans, who was brought back to from the brink of death by Africans, you're telling me that those are the people that we supposed to unite with? They don't know their history, bro. They don't know who they are. They don't know shit. And we're not of the same lineage, spiritually, physically, mentally. Okay? And I land my plane.
Just landed. Yeah. God damn, he powerful.
You went off subject. What I said was in their land, I said around the world, where they have been discriminated against or whatever it was, whatever they call it in their land by the Europeans, they need their own reparations over there. That's what I said. I didn't say nothing about we necessarily they need to come here and do that. I never said that. I said it's the same fight.
Bro, we don't care about what they need, bro. It's not my job to put on a cake for another
I agree with that.
man and tell him how he need to move. All they need to do is stay where they're at and build up homes. Stop coming over here, because that's the problem. It ain't no masculinity in these other places because they've been enslaved for 1,300 years by Arabs. And so they don't know how to move like men. They've been moving like eunuchs for the last 1,000 fucking years. And so now you're trying to get us to collaborate with them, with a bunch of people who don't know what it is to be a man and stand on business. And you want us to allow it to, we got to work with them to get reparations.
No, I didn't say we had to. I said if they're here.
That's what we're talking about. We don't want to be African. We want to do our own thing in this land called North America. We want to do our own thing in Babylon. Y'all could do what y'all do over there. We're going to do what we do over here. Stop pretending to be us. I don't have to sign no ledger. I ain't got to do nothing. I ain't got to organize. I ain't got to do none of that with y'all. All right?
I understand that.
Y'all stay over there. Do what you need to do. Stop coming over here pretending to be us. Okay? You're too damn lazy to raise your own standard of living in your homeland. So you want to run up under us. Because the thing is, they're not going to these white neighborhoods. They're not going to Asian neighborhoods. The Ethiopians and the Somalians and the Eritreans that's in DC's in black neighborhoods. They're in black American neighborhoods. They're in FBA neighborhoods. They're not going to Asian neighborhoods. Go to Asian neighborhoods. Go to the Mexican. I had a Kenyan dude tell me, he's hosting me in Kenya. I'm paying him to stay in his home. He telling me when I was in America, I was hanging out with the Mexicans. Okay, so hang out with the Hispanics and the rest of the immigrants. Be immigrants. Stop pretending to be us. Stop asking us to politically collaborate with people who have shown us for thousands of years that they can't collaborate amongst each other in their homelands. Stop doing it, bro. The shit that you're saying is nonsense. It's tomfoolery.
Like Pan-Africanism.
It's tomfoolery, bro. It don't work. Give it up. I know you look like an older gentleman, but it's obvious to me that you haven't traveled. You haven't been over there to be talking the way that you're talking. You sound ignorant. No disrespect intended, but you sound ignorant, bro. I'm speaking from experience. I was in the military. I was in the Air Force for 10 years, bro. I done traveled the world. I've been over there. I live out of the country right now. I see how these people operate, bro. It's about proximity to whiteness. That's what it's all about. It's about kissing white ass, kowtowing to white people. Because they have low racial self-esteem. They have low racial self-esteem because they don't know history. They don't know their own
Okay.
history. They don't. Go ahead.
All
Yeah,
right,
we
let
on
me
the
Hey,
let
same
me
yeah,
page.
well, hold on.
go
Hey,
ahead.
hold on. Hey, just 1 second. But just all respect. I mean, this is one of the best podcasts I've been on. It got decorum, and I respect the fact, Water God, that you like actually letting people go. I can hear my man. I wish I could see the names. I can't see the name, so I can't call his name. Just say his name right quick, so I say it.
Corey. Yeah,
Corey.
Corey.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wish I was that knowledgeable and fucking. He gave his age. He said he was 32.
32. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm saying to bro, like you've been fast forwarded. I don't know. You sound like you've been ready. You had a mama and a daddy. I don't know what it is. You got a child or something, whatever it is that woke your ass up. But here's what I'm gonna say to you. I can hear the frustration in your voice, but this is the plight. That's what I've been saying. They don't know the world. I'm an ex Navy veteran. And my thing, I'm from the East Coast, and all my things that I was doing was Mediterranean. I wasn't on the other side, on that California side and all that. So what he's saying, I could just sit back and be like, damn, this little mother. I'm actually impressed that he even know all of this shit that he know at 32. Trust me, I'm way older than this dude, and he know there's some shit bag ass countries over there like Donald Trump talking about, and he's trying to tell you, but it falls on deaf ears. But that look, hey, bro, ain't no lie. If I say little bro, because I'm older, so understand that, man. You got it, and you understand it, and you understand how it go. No, nigga, you can't rob me. You can't spit in my face, fight me, hit my mama, and then I'm supposed to be cool with you or some shit. No, nigga, I ain't forget. I know what the other countries did to us. We know. So yeah, excuse me for recognizing what a motherfucker didn't do. You think my brother could goddamn watch me get beat up in a fight and I'm supposed to be cool with him because he stood over there and watched it? No, fuck no.
Right.
That's
We can't
human nature.
Yep, we can't do it. Listen, we got unspoken vibes. I want to let him get his little
Everybody pitch in. It's all good.
Yeah, unspoken. Let me get what you're saying, unspoken.
Oh yeah, so it's a tough act to follow after Corey, but yeah, I'm gonna do my best.
Do your thing, man.
But yeah. So you said for reparations, basically we all got to get on code around the world globally, and that's what'll happen. I respectfully disagree. There is no code around the world. As Corey already mentioned, there's way too much tribalism. If you want to hear the most vitriol and most disrespectful comments about Africans from any of those countries, speak to another African. That's how you'll be able to truly see that they do not mess with each other over there. And I've never said some of the most disgusting things about them, but you'll hear it from other Africans, and you expect, for some reason, you hold the hope that we'll be able to work with them. Is dead. Pan-Africanism is dead. The fact that Marcus Garvey had to come over to America to get that started when he's from Jamaica and he couldn't get it started over there, it tells you something right there. They cannot unite on their own. They need us, FBAs, to kind of get things started. And the energy is not reciprocated. It's basically, honestly, they only want Pan-Africanism to help benefit them, as Corey already mentioned. Like when you talk about the year of return, a lot of these countries have, Ghana has a year of return, but a lot of these countries will talk about people from the diaspora coming back. They're welcoming them back. First of all, you can't even own the land when you get over there. You have to develop the land, and most of them are scamming you for the money for the land because they'll improperly sell you the land. Because I've actually researched it. I used to be, I'm ashamed to admit this, I used to be a Pan-Africanism, but then I woke up, I realized, that shit is a scam. So you're talking really idealistic. It's not going to happen. It's point blank clear. It's been 60 years since the civil rights movement. They've not done anything with that. The Somalian immigrant group has only been. Oh, there's another thing I want to touch on. All these other groups come over here and they say, why haven't you prospered? This Somalian group that's done all the fraud has only been here for 30 years, and majority of them can't even speak, and they've only gotten here by doing fraud. But those are one of the ethnic groups that were coming over here talking about you. Black FBAs don't know their fathers. They don't want to work. They're just ignorant. They're not black, but now all of a sudden they're black. It's only they only want to be aligned with us, and preach this whole kumbaya Pan Africanism. We're all black when it benefits them. We've already struggled with this for over 400 years. Uh, we recognize that in America, your race is more important than anything else. We try to tell these groups and these people over here, or these immigrants when they got over here, that this is how America operates. No, you guys didn't want to hear any of it. You guys, I'm not black. I'm Dominican Republic. I'm not black. Somalian. Africans, from many Nigerians specifically, they just think they're better than everybody, even over on the African continent. You'll hear that from other Africans. So we cannot work with them. Pan Africanism is dead. I'm sorry to say it to you. If you holding out hope for it, there's no coming back from it. We're just too different. Culturally, we're just too different. They have tribalism over there. They don't see race like we've had to experience race in America. That's my only thing on that. I'm done. Ursa, it's your turn.
Okay. Salute. Unspoken vibes, but that was good. You came through, man. Ursa, mic off, man. She need to turn her mic on. But that's good. Ursa, you ain't on, but we got. Go ahead, 2 cents, man. You wanted to get off?
Yeah, I can. I always got something. I keep one in
Oh,
the.
I thought I was next.
Oh yeah. There go her mic back. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm good.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is the brother still on? The Pan African dude.
The Pan African is still on, man. He's still on here. Go ahead.
Okay, I want to ask him, how old are you?
No, don't dox him like that. No, don't dox.
Oh, well, okay. I'm just trying to get some kind of feel, because I'm 63, and so I remember when the diaspora immigrants first started coming here, and a lot of us were like down for them because we fought for them to come here, and so he's saying that we need to forget about FBA, which is kind of very disrespectful, and we all just need to get together. But these people have been in our country for decades. So I have a question for him. What is their responsibility as far as getting together with us? We have Haitians here, Africans here, everybody from the diaspora, Black people, and they have not gotten with us. So, I mean, what else can we do? Because, everybody puts all the responsibility on us.
Yeah.
Well, so I want to ask him. I mean,
hey, there you go. I want to hear what he's gonna say, because I got something to say after he.
Well, it could start with, for example, the ones that are in political office support reparations. Stop dividing with saying we don't need it, or they don't deserve it, or we shouldn't get it. That's the first step. To
hold on, because what you're saying is not reality, because these people have an immigrant background. Half of the people in the so-called Congressional Black Caucus, which is really the Congressional Immigration Caucus, are their whole. If you look on their website, if you look at their platform, even though they're part of the Congressional Black Caucus, like Ilhan Omar, she is also in the Somali caucus. She's the only one, I think. But okay, just like the president of the Congressional Black Caucus, she is has an immigrant background. I think she's from Jamaica. She is part of the Jamaican caucus. Their platform is pro-immigration.
Correct.
Okay, because I don't know if you know how politics work. The more people they have in their district, which they get them from immigration coming from other countries, that is the more representative, the more money they get from our government.
You are correct.
Okay.
I agree with everything you said. There's no disagreement, but I said that what I'm sick of hearing personally is when some of these people get in these positions and then they're against it. I'm like saying, you know, that's a problem for people. If you're representing my district and you want me to support you, then you have to support that issue for me. Because if you're, if I'm just saying, for example, if like Kamala Harris, for example, let's say she was president. I'm just talking to hypothetics. If she wants me or my community to stand with her, then you got to stand with me on those issues. And if you don't stand with me on those issues, then I feel like you're against me. That's how I feel about that.
Appreciate you, Corey.
Can I?
Okay, but
Can I say something
just let me.
after she finished?
Okay, but Kamala Harris did not stand with us. She said point blank, I am not going to do anything just for black people, and she's from an immigrant. But okay, my thing is, you came on our platform, a Foundation of Black America, and you told us to forget about our our movement, what we stand for, and to be for everyone. We have been for everyone. So what other tactics should we use? We've already given our whole political power to these people. We've given everything.
I could answer that. A lot of FBAs that I know of, and I was on social media, they did not go out to vote based off that. So that's part of the reason why she lost. She lost a lot of support with that. That's my point. Like, they gotta be on. We gotta get on code for us to prosper. Because if we don't do that, we're gonna be stuck in 10 years having the same.
Okay, when you mean us, though, when you say us, you said everyone.
No, I'm talking about when I say us, I mean of the diaspora. So I don't care.
You cannot be for immigration and be for foundational Black Americans.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Okay, I'm gonna land my plane because this dude act like he don't know nothing about politics. Bye.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. But what I'm trying to say to you is, if that don't change, we're gonna be in 10 years having the same conversation. That's my point. If that doesn't change, I mean, that's my point. I'm not disagreeing with you. I agree with you, but I'm just saying that that's not going to change if we don't have that mindset that I'm talking about.
Hey, at the end of the day, look, bro, you free to believe what you want to believe. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna speak briefly, and then I'll shut it down.
Okay.
Oh, hold on, wait. That was Water God?
No. Go ahead. I said I got Corey next. Go ahead and you speak.
Okay. Yeah. I appreciate the respect. I'm like, shit, he the host, thing, over talking to everybody. Hey, much respect. But what people saying was like, man, it's hard to forget some of the things that's going on. When Trump and Kamala was in. Okay, what you want to get shot or you want to get stabbed? I don't want neither. But at the end of the day, I mean, like shit. What do you have to actually choose from? And it's a messed up situation. We all get it. But at the end of the day, I done lived all my life. I didn't care if it was Reagan, Clinton, Carter, Bush, first Bush, second Bush, or whatever. I mean, it affected my life, but not so directly, by the graces of God and stuff like that and all that, whatever you can, put into the mix to be okay with what you're doing. But man, goddamn, this shit can get rough, but you got to let people go if they say something subjective, you don't have to beat them down with what they're saying because it's subjective when we know that. When you start talking objective, now we get a chance. We're a pack of rock wallers coming at you. But anything that you're talking subjective, we can't really. It's just an opinion, and we know that. Yeah, it's just an opinion, and people are entitled to their opinion and what they're saying and stuff like that. But yeah, man, shit. Yeah.
So look,
yeah.
Everybody really saying that you got to talk that code stuff to them. Like, we shouldn't be telling FBA to be on code. We are the code.
Exactly.
Code. They ain't on code, so nobody should never be telling us to be on code. But let me let Corey go ahead and take off, man.
All right, I just want to say this because I guess people don't understand what the FBA movement is. I guess people think that the movement is like number one, it's not a movement. Well, it is and it isn't. It's a movement to get people in America to understand that we are a distinct ethnic group. This whole thing of flat blackness, it's not going to work. It's never going to work. It hasn't worked. It doesn't work anywhere on the planet. This thing about quote unquote anti-blackness is because the group of people who are classified as black, number one, only exist in America. Number two, there is no black identity in Africa. Okay. There's no African identity in Africa. There's the Hausa, somebody else said it. There's the Hausa, there's the Yoruba, there's the Igbo, there's the this, there's the that. There is no unifying black identity globally. Okay. There is no black economy. There is no black first world country. There's no black standing army. Okay. All of that is American. So we talking about blackness. When people talk about blackness, we need to understand what blackness is. That's an American ethnic group. It's a socioeconomic status associated with people who are prisoners of war in America or have been prisoners of war in America. It don't have nothing to do with people from the Horn of Africa. It don't have nothing to do with West Africans. It don't have nothing to do with Zulus. It's about a specific ethnic group in America who built the country, who without we wouldn't have America as a whole, who've participated in every war, okay? Who, because we only talk about slavery. We don't talk about convict leasing, which was slavery by another name. We don't talk about redlining. We don't talk about Jim Crow. We don't talk about the Freedmen's Bank and how money was stolen. Millions of dollars was stolen from the Freedmen's Bank, and that was never repaired. So we have a specific justice claim as American citizens that an immigrant from Cameroon just can't have. A Panamanian just can't have. And this is happening because we've had this mindset about being Pan-African and we black first and we this and we that. Why do we have the mindset? Because most of us have not traveled to these so-called black countries and see how things operate and see how they kiss and white. The only country in Africa that I've seen that's not kissing white ass is Rwanda, because Paul Kagame has fierce control over that country. He has an iron fist control over that country. So Rwanda is maybe Rwanda and maybe Botswana. See, because the thing is, we talk in these generalities, right? We need to be serious about political conversations. We need to be serious about geopolitics and how things actually work on the ground. This whole thing of talking like it's 1970 or 1980 or the 90s, and we watching Living Single and Martin, and we got Dashiki. It's 2025, bro. Okay, that's what I grew up on as a child. That no longer applies. As time marches on, things change, parameters change. We have to change with the times. And the thing is, we've seen that these people are talking about they're of a separate ethnic group. They're from Haiti. They're from this. They're from that. I've had Haitian people and other black people that's in the military, these other so-called black people in the military, they're talking about, oh, well, black people do that and black people do this, talking about black people as a separate group. Mind you, this person is walking around blacker than Wesley Snipes, darker than Blade's jacket. She's talking about black people this and black people that. So that turned something in my head. And I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, so she doesn't view herself as black, even though she looked like some fucking black licorice. Oh, okay. So they have a whole different mindset. And the mindset that these people have comes from the fact that they're colonized. They're colonized mentally, which is why they don't feel like black people or people who look like them should have anything, which is why they attack it in the first place. When you go to Haiti, it's a dump. When you go to Africa, many parts of Africa, it's a dump. Unless it's an area that's diverse, that has a bunch of white people, Asians and Russians and all this whole other shit. That's the reality on ground. They don't prioritize their people. So I just want to say this conversation is about we are a separate ethnic group and we don't want to have anything to do with you politically until you get your homeland in order. Once you get your homeland in order and there's a little bit of masculinity, a little bit less paternity fraud and scamming, because when you come to another country and then you're scamming and then you're telling the people who built the country, that the legacy citizens, that they don't have the right to push you out, that to me, that's an act of war. That's subtle colonization. You know what I'm saying? And to be frank, as an American nationalist, as an FBA nationalist, I don't care about what the CIA did to Africa. I don't care about what the CIA did to South America and Asia in the 60s and 70s. I don't care because they don't care. They know what happened and they still prioritize the people that shit on them to this day. Okay? I'm not going to partake in that. I know who my enemy is, and I'm not going to work with my enemy against my own interests. And I land my plane there.
Oh, Corey. Okay, hey, Corey. Hey, check this out. Here's the difference. I don't hate immigrants. I detest tethers. See, it's a difference. And see, they're trying to confuse the two. No. See, at the end of the day, think about this. Tell me the time. Well, you can go to Mexico, go to Jamaica, go to anywhere in the African continent, and you look on the news and you see Tyrone Smith, and he's in their parliament, and the chief of this and this, that, and that. We know that don't happen. See, here's the thing about it. It's the disrespect that I'm like, you come over here. I don't care how I run my house. I mean, how you run your house, but you come over here and do that. I cannot still think, dude, you're not looking at the news and you seeing a black dude talking for goddamn Mexicans, or goddamn in China talking for goddamn Chinese people, or Japan. They come over here and they get and stick their chest out and their nose out because we the land of opportunity. You can do this, man. Come on, man, stop it. That shit really bothers me. I know I'm only one person. Man, come on. You running a goddamn black organization for kids, and it's a white man goddamn coming in here to talk to us. I'm like, why we can't have our people and our own representatives like everybody else? I never seen a goddamn black man or white man talking and trying to motivate everybody else in that culture on a large scale like they try to do with black people. They stay in our business. I know, this is how I know we are the business. Ain't nobody walking around here trying to, well, yeah, man, I'm trying to rock that Nigerian or whatever. We did that for a little while. That shit been gone since the 80s. We ain't walking around with no goddamn the kufis and because I can remember as a child in the 80s, wearing a goddamn African symbol and shit. I don't even know why I'm wearing the shit, but I know it was fresh, Public Enemy and all that kind of stuff like that. I ain't trying to dox my age on that, but at the end of the day, that's exactly what it was. They never did. Look, the world do what we do as foundational Black American. Everybody else just want to eat off of it. Ain't nobody wearing that shit that they talking about. Nigga, when you have, excuse me for saying the word nigga, it's just a term of endearment. But, hey man, we ain't rocking no Somali sandals, them Jesus sandals like that. You ass your feet, motherfucker. Stop with the bullshit. This is our culture. I don't go to goddamn Africa making them do what we do. They did that shit on their own. Nigga, you ain't never had, ain't rocking no kufi, the dress and shit that we wearing or whatever. It's cool. I ain't knocking it, but at the end of the day, that ain't my shit. The world do what we were doing over here. Go ahead.
You facts. You'll never see us over here wearing their lineage and their culture. We come up with our culture and we wear our, we have our style. But Pan-Africanism, I want to get you on. How long you been a Pan-Africanist?
Who? Oh no, that's the other dude. Oh. Yeah. We already know it's one Pan-African in here. Yeah, he knows what time it is.
How long you been a Pan-African?
Well, I never really classify myself with any of that. I'm just saying, like the divisiveness, I think is a little bit hampering.
But do you claim a tribe over there? Do you claim any?
No.
Like, so how do you see it? Like, so you trying to unite everybody on what kind of basis? Like, what do you claim? Like, what is your
like I said, if you stay divided, it's gonna make you weaker than if you're united. That's why I preach.
So you feel like we're united right now?
No, definitely not.
So how can you divide something that's divided?
I said it's divided, and unless that mindset changes, in 10 years, we're gonna be having the same conversation. Because it's too much. I was going at it with the FBAs, which I consider myself. When Kamala was running for office, it was too much that she wasn't black enough or whatever it was. Instead of saying, you know what, let me put that to the side. And I don't agree with everything she stands for, but I felt that she was the better choice than what she was running against. And it was so much backlash and name calling and disrespect that, you know, like you see how we had we didn't, on this panel, this was a great panel, one of the best I've ever been on, but we didn't see everything eye to eye, but nobody called nobody out their name. Nobody cursed at nobody. Nobody. The young man was very respectful. The woman that came on was respectful. So that's what it should be. That's a good start. We don't see eye to eye, but at least we was able to have a conversation where I wasn't called out my name, because that's very rare.
Yeah. But do you see how you want?
Yeah, Water God got a good team here.
Yeah, definitely got a great team. Look, I can't even lie about that, man. I got one of the best audiences on YouTube. But listen, you said that you want us to support Kamala Harris, Barack Obama because we're black, because they're black, right?
I felt that not so much because they're black only. I felt that they had more of my interest or our type interest at heart than the opposition. Trump is trying to.
No, so we don't listen. We don't feel like that. We feel like they are divisive. They're not even FBA. We don't have.
We agree with that. There's no disagreement with that.
So we don't want these people in office that's using the term black. We don't feel like they're not doing anything. That's what we be preaching on this channel. We want to say that. Why would we want to support people that are put in position to be against us? So it's like we looking at your lineage.
But when you say against us, how were they against us? When it came to issues like affirmative action, who was on your side?
We feel like affirmative action is. We don't.
That's not the question. The question was, who was more on your side with the issue? I'm just using that as an example. Who was against it and who was for it?
Okay, can I say something about that affirmative
hold
action?
on, I'm asking him a question. No, and I'm gonna let you elaborate. I'm just saying to him that's an example. Who was more on your side with that type of issue?
Who went to court to stop affirmative race-based affirmative action?
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to you. Who took a case to court to end race-based affirmative action?
What I saw was the Asians.
Exactly. Asians that use their affirmative action, to get into college, to get bilingual education. They use the 14th Amendment, which a lot of people don't know, because the Chinese that came in the 1970s could not learn English. So everybody gets a bilingual education because of the equal opportunity clause in the 14th Amendment. So when you are talking about who's for affirmative action, we don't have affirmative action anymore because of the Asians.
I agree with you, but you're missing my point. I agree with everything you said.
You say who's for affirmative action? There is no affirmative action anymore.
No. I was saying to you, that's an example of something that might be more.
That's not a good example, because Kamala Harris, after they did that, she signed the anti-Haitian crime deal because Haitians were saying that black people were beating them up, and it wasn't us. It was Trump that started that anti-Haitian stuff during COVID.
Right, exactly. I agree with that.
But they always use us as a red herring. They always use foundational Black Americans.
I agree with that, but that wasn't. You're 100% right, but that wasn't my point. My point was, I was trying to just give an example that anything that has a link of advancement for us, the other side is against it. That was my point.
But it's not an advancement for us. It's advancement for everyone else.
Let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
When I say advance, meaning that when it didn't advance the white male, it was a threat to the other side, and they was always against it. That was my point. Nobody's debating the Asians and the other stuff, because I know who brought that. I followed that case a little bit. I didn't study it hard, And now that burned them because the real enemy that they was really trying to do was the legacy. It was the legacy people that was keeping them out of the schools. But they painted the picture like if it was just like they were just educating or letting the blacks get that, because white women were the biggest beneficiaries of affirmative action. They benefited from it
So
more
what
than we
have
did.
we got? This is what we're saying. There's nothing you can tell us that we've got in this from this country policy wise that wasn't to our detriment. You can't name something that was a positive for us. You can't go and play politics with us because we want to clean house completely. None of these policies and points they bringing up, it has no value. So when you bring it up to try to bring a point to us, we're like, look, all of this shit needs to be burnt. It's not working. It's a front. Our leaders like Steve Coakley, Malcolm X, Claude Anderson, they gave us the plan. We know the important points that we're trying to make, and that is land. You know, we was promised our 40 acres and a mule. The Freedmen's Bank got stolen. We got literally scams that was against us where billions of dollars have been stolen. So it's like we got a big claim that we claim, and it's not about policies. We talking big money here. You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of issues. Is Jim Crow's, the redlining, the burning down of black communities. I get it. I'm with you on that. I'm 100% with you. I'm just saying, it just seems like the other side is even more against us than the side that is halfway with us.
Talking about the policy.
Okay, but see, the only thing. Okay, when you say the other side, it's two sides of the same coin.
Hey, can I speak, guys?
Neither party is for us.
You can go. Yeah.
Can I speak? Can I be heard?
Yep. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Me? Well, neither party is really for us.
All right.
So it's up to.
There's a little bit of delay.
Go ahead.
I'm on two devices at once right now because I'm working from home. But anyway, I just want to say that like the Asians, right? So like the Asians worked with the Caucasian or the European community to undermine affirmative action. Now we all know that they know the data. They know that white homosexuals, disabled people, white women, and all these other different weird minority groups that they've created out of their ethnic group, they know the data. So they know that they're benefiting from affirmative action and DEI more than Black Americans.
Exactly.
The point that I want to make is that it's not about just taking away affirmative action. It's about them being hazed into whiteness by throwing dirt on our name.
Exactly.
They attach us to something. They don't allow us to participate in the argument around what they've attached us to. And then they're able to further diminish our reputation by attacking us while not allowing us to participate in the conversation. And they use people of color to do this. And the people of color are very willing to do it because they've already been defeated. They already have colonized mentalities. The Asians, whichever group you want to pick, spin the globe and close your eyes and point your finger. Wherever you point at, they've been 9 times out of 10, they've bent the knee to white supremacy. Okay. And not only have they bent the knee, they actually supplant it, right? They undergird it because that's how they believe, right? Because if you look at, I don't want to get into a whole history lesson, but I'm gonna just say that these other people are colorists by culture, right? So there's that, right? So because we have a different hair texture and how we move and all that, they have a problem with that. So that's number one. Number two, the problem with the Black immigrant group is that they have the same mindset, bro. Like they're only because you said they're halfway with us, and I'm like, well, respectfully, the only reason that they're halfway with us is so that they can copy how we look, copy how we move, and copy our political and economic clout, right? That's the only reason that they're halfway with us is because it benefits them fully. So to me, I'm looking at it like, well, damn, we're benefiting you, but you're still undermining us. So then I had to look in. This is a very illogical, because when you undermine us, eventually we're not going to have nothing, right? We're not going to be able to compete in any way. And then you're not going to be able to benefit as an African. But then when you look at their homelands, and that's the same thing that they do with the other tribes in the homeland, they collaborate with outsiders to undermine, thinking that they're going to get something. And then they wind up 100, 200, 1,000 years later, after they've been given, freedom from slavery. Because the original, some of the first people to be enslaved were Asians and Africans, truth be told. and a lot of them, you know, kind of went willingly. But at the end of the day, it's not beneficial for us to align with them just because of how we look, bro. Like, we got to look past just getting with somebody and dealing with somebody just because how they look. That's like as a man, right? Once you hit a certain age, yeah, she got a big butt. Yeah, she got a nice breast. Yeah, she's pretty. But what's in her mind? I'm no longer gonna sleep with somebody or lay with somebody just because my genitalia is attracted to her, or because I'm getting some type of chemical signal from my brain. You have to control your brain. You have to control your thought process. And so what we're doing now is we're distinguishing ourselves, and by doing that, we're controlling our bodies. We're controlling the thought process that we have, right? This thing where it's like, well, you know, he got nappy hair like me. Because truth be told, again, like I said, I don't think anybody else on this panel has said this. But again, I've lived amongst these people. I've lived amongst the Asians. I've lived amongst this group. I've lived in Europe. I've lived in all these places. So I'm speaking from lived experience, right? It doesn't benefit us to align with these people, bro. It just doesn't. They're happy with their position, right? And their position is attack dogs for Black America. And I'm talking about anybody on the planet. You got Thai people in America talking down, in Thailand talking down. You got Chinese people talking down. You got people all over the world talking down because we haven't been able to participate in the conversation. And we can't defend ourselves and participate in the conversation if I got to go to the Kenyans, or I got to go to the Somalians or the South Africans. I got to go and explain to them why they need to be on code with us, even though they've gone through the same problems that we have. So the time for like linking up with people just because they're Black, that's over and done with, respectfully, because they've had plenty of time to show us that they want to be aligned with us and that they want to work with us to change the anti-Black culture of the world. But they haven't done that. I've been to Colombia, man. I've been to Brazil. I see now a lot of the Black people in these countries, they don't even know anything about being Black. And then when they see you come around as a Black person who got money, they have a problem with that. Because they feel like, well, I'm Black and you're Black, you shouldn't have access to that. And that's a problem for me. They have low racial self-esteem. We can't collaborate with people like that, man. That's like telling Jews during the Holocaust, well, you know, go ahead and collaborate with the Nazis, and then those of you who collaborated with them, you'll be fine. But they weren't fine. They still got put into these different situations. You know, the Native Americans that collaborated with the Brits, they didn't get what they thought they were gonna get. The Black people that lined up with the Confederates, they didn't get what they thought they were gonna get. The only way that you get anything is by standing on business and standing on your identity and your achievements. And as far as I'm concerned, there's no other like ethnic group on this planet who've been able to create what we've created out of essentially nothing and continue to get our face spit on time and time again. So to say that we need to align ourselves with people who are 90% of a population, of a landmass, who control the resources, and they can't set up a basic post office, they can't set up a basic sewage system. You have to rely on outsiders to set up certain things for you. You got to rely on the Chinese to develop your major cities. You have to ask for a loan from the IMF and the World Bank to set up a basic highway system in a major tourist city. So where's the money going? Where is the tourist money going in Mombasa and all these other places? Why are you just now taking out a loan to develop? So I just don't understand the mindset of like trying to again visit these places, see how they live, and your whole position is going to change.
Carlos, I want to know your. I'm gonna meet your daddy. Yeah, your daddy did. Yeah, you ain't about to lie to me and tell me you don't know your daddy. Tell me the lie right now to my motherfucking face. You don't know your daddy. Tell me that.
Yeah, I was raised by FBA, man. I was raised by my peoples were Nation of Islam. My peoples were marching. Like my great grandfather is from North Carolina. Like we have land in Craven County. You know what I'm saying? New Bern, North Carolina. So that's where we come from. You know, we are the Lumbee people. We are a lot of these tribal people. You know, we were members of that tribal genocide that happened, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? The paper genocide, excuse me. And our ancestors moved up during the Great Migration. And so that's part of our American history. That's core to American history. And so to like try to say that like forget your history and then get with these other people who have a history of being like willing victims to other groups of people, that's not something that I can partake in. That's just totally disrespectful to my great-grandfather. He was a businessman in the 60s in New York. He had to leave because his life was threatened at 16. And 20 years later, he owned the block in Jamaica, Queens, Linden Boulevard. Anybody from New York can tell you about the New York original steak and
Hold on.
take. So we got blood,
Yeah,
sweat, and tears. I was in the military for 10 years. My great grandfather on my father's side
Carlos.
was in the army. He fought during World War
I
II.
love you,
So like to tell me we got to put all that to the
man. Hey,
side and
Carlos.
collaborate with these people who's totally alien to us, that's
Hold on.
disrespectful. It's
Yeah, but
disrespectful.
hold on, Carlos. But it was, to be honest, the question was rhetorical. I said the question, but you didn't have to tell me that you had a father in your life. The shit that you talking, man, the people can see it in the chat and all that. Like, man, we already know what the hell going on, and you are a result of that. You got a lot of knowledge, more than a lot of people. I mean, you ain't a Y. I mean, I can't call you really so much a YN, but you still YN to me. But the knowledge that you have and then the shit like, I'm like, you think I done lived on this earth this long and don't know that this motherfucker had somebody to get this type of knowledge and whatever. But like I said, I'm not fucking with nobody. There's definitely no YNs about unless they come to me personally. The internet is totally different. But the stuff that you know and what your family taught you and shit like that, and you ain't nothing but 32, I'll sit here, I clap. It's actually impressive, bro. At the end of the day, it's still impressive. But go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I was
Hello,
just
is
saying,
Mr.
man.
Payne?
Yeah, much respect, much respect. I just wanted to say in closing because I got to wrap up here and finish work. But Water
Of
God, we
course.
definitely got to link up, man. I'm gonna make a channel like this weekend. Like where I'm at, it's like Thursday, so I'm still working. But definitely this weekend, I'm gonna make a channel and we'll link up. But I just want to say that like we gotta instead of having these conversations on the internet, I think as a people we just gotta have a little bit more respect for each other, like irrespective of age. You know what I'm saying? I don't really think the age thing matters. You know, just have a conversation and exchange information. Income and all that. I don't think that those things matter. I think who we are as a group and our shared history is what matters. And I say that respectfully, no disrespect intended. And I also want to say that, like once again, we just got to be realistic. We have to be realistic about how the world is, and like the world is not a race-based system. It's an ethnic, tribal-based system. You know what I'm saying, and I don't think that it's intelligent or it's a viable long-term plan to collaborate with people who have deals with colonizers in their own countries. So that's all I want to say. And with that, I land my plane. Much respect, Water God, everybody on the panel, the chat. Much respect.
Hey, tell me the months that you were born. Just you ain't gotta tell me. I don't the signs of it. Just tell me. I already know, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. You're gonna say maybe. Watch. Go ahead. Hey, go ahead, baby. Go ahead. Nah, all right. Go ahead, bro. Can you hear me? Just tell me. Hey, what month of the year that you was born? I'm just curious. Oh shit, he done dropped out. Corey, hold on. Corey still there? Corey. Well, somebody else can go ahead and start going.
Well, I just want to ask him again about this Democratic Party because if you look at like Chicago, LA, New York, they have been giving these illegals billions of dollars, and the foundational Black American communities have suffered from benign neglect, and we can see this. So when people say vote Democratic, I mean for what? Because they're not giving the people that have voted them in for 60 years anything. Look at our communities. To me, we're worse off now than what we were when I was growing up back in the 70s and the 80s. So I want to ask the Pan African brother, why would we still vote Democratic? Why? I'll land my plane on that.
Where everybody else, man? Ain't nobody comment. So I know somebody is about to say something behind it. But anyway, but yeah, even if they ain't, yeah, I try to stay off the internet and out my job about political views and religion. Now on the internet, it can get a little murky. It's a reason why if you got a good enough job, I promise you, they told you, you better not be in there promote. That's an instant fight. Go ahead. It muted, so somebody was trying to talk. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're good, my man. I was just gonna say, but the older, the gentleman with the stars on his shirt, Ursula had a question about the Democrats. So why would we still vote for the Democratic Party when, given we voted for them for 60 years, but our communities are arguably worse off than they were in the 60s?
They chose wrong. They chose wrong. At the end of the day, man, if you think about it, hey, what's the lady name that's on here right now? What's your name? It was a lady that was on here. She said she doxed her age.
My name is Ursa. Ursa World.
Okay, Ursa World. Okay.
I'm an Air Force veteran. I'm an Air Force veteran and an FBA rider.
Yeah, that you ain't have to that too. That's already in me. I can hear how you talking, where you from and all that. You ain't talking a lot of tether talk at all. But at the end of the day, here's what a lot of people still don't goddamn understand. I don't dislike you because you're an immigrant. I dislike you because you're a tether.
Exactly.
It's a difference. It's a major difference.
Okay, I'm getting back to the Democratic Party. They have backstabbed us, and it's diabolical. The Democratic Party would not be rich, the DNC, without foundational Black Americans that have voted for them for 60 years. Right. And what have we got? Mass incarceration, 1994 crime bill that Biden signed, that Biden wrote.
Exactly. Miss Ursula.
And I don't see them. I see them crashing out, going to these detention centers for these illegals. I don't see them going to Cook County Jail. And you got brothers.
It's breaking up.
That's what I'm talking about. I want the brother to respond.
Yeah, yeah. He gonna be slow to respond on that. Hey, your thing was breaking up, but we heard you. Go ahead, if you can respond.
Yeah, her thing was, why would we want to vote for the Democratic Party? You said about affirmative action, and her response was, why would we vote for them for all of the trauma that they brought to us for 60 years? We want to hear a response on that.
Jeopardy music. He typing on. He got a cell phone, computer going. Hey,
Barack,
he can't hear.
You there? Barack.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm all ears. What's up?
Oh, he ain't hear.
Yeah, I'm
My
listening.
question was, why would we vote for the Democratic Party when we've been voting for them for 60 years and they haven't did anything? Why would we feel like voting on their side for, you were saying, affirmative action?
I was saying that when you look at if you really want to know what the Democrats stand for, because I'm more of an independent. Listen to that brother. I don't always agree with him, Roland Martin. He'll break down all the pros and he'll have receipts for everything of what's good and what might not be so good as compared to what the Republicans were doing. Now, the problem with her statement is there was independence. Like, for example, there was a woman named, her name was, I think, Jill Stein, a white woman. I actually never heard of her before the election. I found out about her through Sabrina Salvantes, who calls herself Savvy Sav. She comes on, she's an independent. And the lady said a lot of things that we liked, or most FBAs would like, but in some states, I didn't even see her name. She wasn't on a ballot everywhere. So they kind of put in front of you who they want you, who your choices are, and if you don't like the choices, which we don't always have good choices, but you have a choice to not vote or pick out of the two of which or I guess you could say the lesser of the evils. That's all you can do. You know, I mean, but other people might not look at it that way, but that's how I look at it. What was your other option?
Yeah, I'm on board with that. My analogy I always use.
Does
Okay,
anybody?
what
Let me ask a
do
question.
you want to get shot or stabbed? And that's basically what he's saying.
Let me ask you a question. Does anybody know why that guy JFK is hanging out with Trump now? JFK Jr. Well, excuse me, RFK, the guy that's the head of the Make America Healthy Again.
Yeah.
Anybody want to elaborate?
Say why he's hanging out with him?
Yes.
Yeah, because they got things in common.
No.
The
Democrats didn't want him, and he went to Trump, and Trump told him, if you support me, I'll give you a spot. That's what happened. He tried to ride with the Democrats, they wouldn't put him on the ballot. So he went to, that's why, Robert F. Kennedy's son, the guy that's he's ahead of MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. That's what happened.
Can I say something that's subjective on that point? Yeah. See, here's what. Okay, when people talk this Democrat and Republican thing, and I know based objectively, Black people have supported the Democratic Party for whatever 40, 50, 60 years now at this point. However, we were pushed into a point that, okay, what do you want to do? You want to get shot or you want to get stabbed? Okay, and a lot of people is choosing, I want to get stabbed at this point. Because you can look at a lot of the elections. Nigga, I didn't want goddamn Trump or Hillary Clinton, but that's the choices that you had to choose from. So don't get off my goddamn neck about, oh, you support everything he did. I'm like, nigga, I didn't want neither one of them. So quit playing with me. I already know what happened and destroyed the shit at the beginning. When I was young enough to know when Reagan got in and they did some shit called Reaganomics. Just look it up. They wanted to give the rich some tax breaks and all this shit and all that so they can trickle the money down. It's called Reaganomics. It's called trickle downonomics type of deal. That's what they were trying to do. They kept the fucking money. That's why the CEO and all these motherfuckers make so much money than the regular worker. They are steady profiting billions of dollars, and you got people that work for you that still can get a public assistance. That lets you know that the people kept the money. Most people are not old enough on here right now. They don't know what the fuck NAFTA is and stuff like that. They took the money even when they gave them a break. They said even when the break was coming to loose, they saw it. They took the money and goddamn GE, Coca-Cola, and all these. Man, they hit them across the head. They just suffering from because you got suckered. The United States got suckered. You thought these goddamn rich billionaires and these families was gonna trickle that money down to you. You got suckered. Oh, I shouldn't say you. We got suckered, and that's exactly what happened. It's a fucked up shit. I know it's a lot of people wasn't even born yet. I saw it. It didn't affect me. I mean, it didn't put me in the slums or nothing. But at the end of the day, they gave them a break, gave them the money. They kept the fucking money and kept the bag, man. It was fucked up. But go ahead.
Yeah. But you know what? Okay, so you're right about that. But see, YT, like when Reagan ran, but he used that southern strategy. You know, he used foundational Black Americans as a red herring, so they would vote for that trickle down BS. But see, now they are hurting. But see, they will never ever admit that what they did was the wrong thing because they still voted for that tax breaks and jobs bill that just passed, that Trump just put in that big beautiful bill or whatever. And so, but now what do you see? Amazon laying off people, but see the corporations got that big tax break, and they were supposed to. It's called the jobs bill, tax break and jobs bill, and they are not creating no jobs. They fell for it again, you know. But see, it's both sides of the same coin because even though they gave the corporations money, but they did not ask for them to create any jobs in that bill. But see, the Democrats on that side, what they do, they still undermine American workers by bringing in cheap labor. So they screw us on both sides. We still get screwed. That's what people need to wake up to. We still get screwed. So I mean, that is when we're talking about. But see, the Democrats. The reason I have so much smoke for them is because we have made them rich beyond measure, and they have stabbed us in the back, and they have effed us with no Vaseline. So I mean, for us to keep voting Democrats, we need to. And okay, I just want to say this now. See, when people think we don't have any political party, the us folks in the swing states, which includes Wisconsin. I live in Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Michigan, which includes Detroit, Pennsylvania, which includes Philadelphia, Atlanta. We set it out. We're the ones that decide elections. We decide elections. So we have political power. So don't let nobody tell you that we don't. But you don't hear that in that mainstream media. With that, I'll land my plane.
That's why I feel a certain way about people that if you 55 to 65, I feel a certain way because I know just like before Martin Luther King died, he said, I feared that I walked my people into a burning building type of deal. And I know for a fact, those people that was in that, because they had heavily influenced us and they had that power between 55 and 65, they got a lot of knowledge. They know both sides. But at the end of the day, they know they chose wrong. Forget whatever. Okay, Democrat, Republican. You want to get shot? You want to get stabbed? See, people can speak subjectively on what they believe, but at the end of the day, tell me objectively about what you know about if I voted for Republican. Because I know as a child, not a Republican, bad, that type of deal. So I was trained on that. I know those people that's older, they walked us into a burning building, but they might have still saved us because what do you want to do? You want to get shot? You want to get stabbed? I don't want neither, but I want the lesser of the two. The Democrats might have been the lesser of the two because we know what Republicans were trying to do for years. But you cannot sit here and talk to me objectively about what the Republicans really will do for Black people because we never voted for them. So everything that they say, I promise you, is subjective because there's no history, no proof about, unless you go back into when they switched the parties. That's just subjective talk. It's just subjective talk, and they have a right to say that. But objectively, you tell me where Black people actually voted for Republicans in a large number. You can't. So you ain't got no history on it. So it's subjective shit, your personal belief.
No, in the 50s they did. In the 50s and the 60s, the Blacks did.
That's what I said when they switched the parties.
Yeah.
When it was the Dixiecrats and all that.
Right.
Go ahead. And interrupt briefly. This is Corey.
Go ahead. We got
I want to say
too.
that.
Go ahead.
Enlightened, I think Enlightened the chat, Enlightened Dummy, he brought up a good point. He was saying that, there's other third parties, right? And you have the Green Party who's actually explicitly talking about reparations. Jill Stein and Ajamu Baraka have explicitly mentioned Black Americans and reparations. So it's about, because I want to talk about like action and not just, have these conversations about ideology endlessly. I think what we need to do is like how we're having this conversation now online. We need to transfer these conversations to our friends and family and have and explain the history to them, explain whether it's objective or subjective, break it down to them, and also say, hey, listen, there's another option. You do this in your neighborhood, just like how the Nation of Islam started, right? It started in somebody's basement, right? So we can create a grassroots movement that organizes politically. We don't got to do all the marching and the screaming and all the twerking online. We can do that. And I don't know the ins and outs of a Jamu Baraka or Joe Stein, but we need to organize, actually get together and have these conversations in person and network in person rather than continuously having these YouTube And I'm not saying it because this is good, right? We have like-minded people together now. But what I'm saying is when it comes to actual political action, we need to create a platform, right? That's beneficial to us. And we know that the Republican thing, that's not going to work. We know that the Democrat thing, that's not going to work. And so we might not even have the population, right, for it. 43 million allegedly. I think that there's more. But we can still organize, because that's a big enough number, right, to cause damage and to send shockwaves out, right? Because they know that we're delineating. And so instead of them addressing the delineation conversation on the mass media, the new conversation is anti-blackness. You have Nick Fuentes, and it's a lot of goofy shit that they're throwing out there, but none of it's really sticking to the wall because it has no soul to it. It's just shock value nonsense. So I'm saying is, why don't we get serious, with our families and our friends, the people that's closest to us, and try to look at, okay, what are these third parties, whether it's the libertarians, whether it's the anarchists, whether it's the this, whether it's the that. We don't need to start FBA chapters because it's a lineage. There's no need to start chapters. Neely Fuller talks about this in his book, The Compensatory Code Concept. He talks about four-wallism. You don't need a four-wall organization. You need to have a lineage with a certain mindset, like how Jewish people, they raise their kids in the synagogue and they sort of brainwash them to a certain extent to think like Jews. This is the Jewish ideology, right? That's the same thing that we should be doing, right? And the problem is that the older generations, the civil rights generation, the boomers, Gen X, I think people got caught up in interracial sex and flexing and being cool and hip hop and entertainment. And that's all good. It has value, but that's not politics. You still got to do politics.
Yeah.
So now as a millennial, I'm saying, let's do serious politics. Let's talk about geopolitics. Let's actually put foot on ground in these other places. I've lived in the Middle East. I've lived in Doha. I've lived in Dubai. I've lived in Vietnam. I've been to these places for longer than a month. I'm not a 2-week type of dude. I'm 2 months and up, right? So I've observed and studied how they live and how they organize. And the one thing that all these people have in common is that they have a fervor for whatever their chosen tribal identity is. And we have to get serious about that. Basketball is cool. Sports is cool. Cars and all that. Consumerism is great, but let's try to shift the culture to where people are more serious about, and I'm not saying that we're not, right? These conversations, political conversations are happening.
We need to set something up. That's serious. No, we gotta actually be doing action steps. That's what that's what this is for. Right. We ain't doing this to really, we trying to really make an impact. So we gonna get together and definitely be getting something done on that. So we don't gotta market that, but we can definitely set something aside to where we all know what we're doing, and we're gonna stay locked in. It's gonna be a safe place where we can exchange coded messages, but we definitely gonna.
Can you play that video just for the Democrat supporters in the audience?
I'm gonna play this video, then I'm gonna let Mickey Jones jump on and hear what she got to say. Then we're gonna let the other panel speak. Let's get it.
Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm gonna do something that's only gonna benefit Black people. No.
Okay, so there y'all hear. So Mickey, what's good?
No. The problem that I'm having with all of these conversations is when we have such individuals that jump on this Pan-African thing, and what they fail to realize is that it's never worked. It was a good idea, but it was a stupid idea. Because if Africa is not together, united within Africa, what made us think they was going to come over here and be united with us? Why continue with the same line of thinking and trying to do the same thing over and over and over again for no results? So when we have people jump into these panels and want to kumbaya, you coming to the wrong people. That's my whole problem. And when we talk politics, it seems like we just be talking in circles because it's always somebody want to jump in with the same invalid point. Why we keep doing this? That's my question.
Mm-hmm.
Why keep doing this? Why can't we just kick these people out of the chat, out of the panels, just kick them out? We don't have time. We don't have no more time. We put a half a century into trying to unite with these people that sold us into slavery.
You're trying to do it an impossible task, man. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. So once you already do it, it's done. It's done. I understand you're right. Talk to your people that's 55 to 65 years old. They did this stuff to us, man. I know they did. And as a young person, what we do, we try to follow leadership and stuff like that. They led us astray. It's okay. You can be fixed. It can be fixed, and we've been fixing it for years. Now, when the people talk that delineation stuff, man, I know for a fact, dude, you can look at rap videos. I promise you, we was rocking like Africa symbols. I can still remember having people selling a necklace that had the little leather thing with the African symbol in it and all that. I ain't wearing no kufi or nothing like that. But at the end of the day, I remember that was a movement. They led us astray. And I'm telling you, talk to your folks that's 55 to 65 years old. That was the group that didn't know. They just guessed wrong. I ain't saying they dumb, can't do shit. They led us astray. We can fix it.
To me, no. Right. Okay.
Can we fix it? Can we fix it by kicking the Coin Intel Pro out of the group?
No, you can't change history. History is what it is. But look, at the end of the day,
I'm not saying change history. I'm saying I'm talking to this guy with the Captain America on.
I know.
That's over. I need him to let it go.
Let him live. You know what I'm saying? Let him do what he do. Let him do what he do. You ain't got to save that motherfucker. Excuse me, that man. Yeah, you ain't got to save him. That's the same thing that's the same thing we do with people that when we talk about immigrants and tethers. People try to muddy the water and be like, oh, you just don't like them because they're an immigrant. No. We don't like you because we don't dislike you for that.
They are. No, they tethering on to us to keep on stabbing us in the back. We're not doing that no more.
Nah, not no more. No.
We're not doing that no more.
I'm not my uncle. I'm not my auntie.
So to keep listening to this nonsense about holding hands and everybody got to get on. Everybody ain't on code. Only FBA's been on code. We've been on code since the very beginning. So I really need them to go head on somewhere.
Yeah, because when you was off code in FBA history, we just don't deal with you. You get cut off. You can't. It ain't no. You can't put, like you said, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. It's over with.
It's over with. Yeah, it's okay. You did what you did. I ain't forget. At the end of the day, I still can't remember that I can say my African neighbors or someone, I got a scholarship and that shit came from Ghana or the Cameroon or something like that to help us because we know we suffering because this, that, and other. I'm like, yeah, they can't even help themselves. So look, I done moved past it. I done moved past that shit, man. That's shit crazy as fuck. I'm not goddamn holding hands with a motherfucker that damn did something to my family. No, logically it sounds idiotic.
Unspoken
It is.
vibes, man. I
It's
know
very idiotic. I got a question for old boy. Who sent you?
Yeah. Yeah, he thought he was in Nick Fuentes channel or something. Nah, I'm just fucking with you too, bro.
Rocco drummer.
Yeah, he ain't paying
What
attention.
happened?
So
Yeah, he ain't paying attention.
Mickey said,
No, I'm listening. I'm just thinking you speaking in general. I'm not taking nothing personal.
No,
Oh, go ahead.
I am asking you. Who sent you?
Who said that shit personal? What do you mean you ain't taking it personal? She said it directly to you.
No,
Well,
no,
how
I'm
much
saying
personal could it be?
one thing I learned on social media is you're gonna have people that don't agree with you and they take personal shots, attacks, or whatever you want to call it. They attack your family. So I learned, because I like to support different black media, what I call it, ideologies and perspectives. And when people attack me, I don't take it personal. Because
Nobody in here gonna let you live off that, because she asked you. That wasn't an attack. It was a question. If you think a question is an attack,
you can't tell when something's, see, that's another thing with society. When something's thrown at you, nobody else should be able to tell you how to take it.
No.
You understand? If I say something to you, I might think it's a joke, but you might not.
Oh,
that's my point. So you
yeah,
can't.
that's a fact. But listen to her question. Tell me that was an attack.
I listen to social media all the time. Nobody sent me. I make my own decisions and I'm my own man. I just I listen to people's perspective. I don't always necessarily agree with it. And then I give my perspective.
Right.
That's cool.
That's all it is.
I see what he's saying. I just
Okay.
I think that
So why
Yeah,
that's a good question.
Yeah, I got a couple of years in.
Okay. Did you pledge?
No, I wasn't into that stuff. No.
Okay.
That's for followers. I was always a leader. I don't follow that stuff.
Right.
I just want to say, when you bring up people like Roland Martin or like Mark Lamont Hill and these other people who have attacked like elders like Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, these are people who are associated with the Boule. They're associated with these different networks, right, that have been actively undermining us, to Jack and Jill type of people. And then also like Roland Martin is Haitian, right? And we know he's Haitian, and we know he's very disrespectful towards Black Americans. So I understand your perspective of wanting to see the ideology and having the conversation for intellectual purposes, but for purposes of like organizing and getting things done, sometimes people have to be told to sit down and shut up. You know, like a Roland Martin is not. He's a Democrat shill, frankly.
Ouch.
Correct. What I mean? I agree with that. But he does. If you ever go at him, he has his information is pretty accurate. Because
it's not.
Bro, you chose the wrong road. Yeah, that shit you told. I mean, I don't know you. I mean, I be on here a little bit.
Another rude thing you do is if you notice, I don't talk over nobody.
No, you don't pay attention. I can say that. You don't. The
No, I
rude
am
shit for me.
I am paying attention.
We're sitting up here talking. You doing something, playing goddamn some kind of game on your phone,
no, I'm not playing anything on my phone.
I don't care. On the computer. You ain't paying attention, my nigga. Hey, look, you ain't paying attention. But go ahead. Finish your thought. No, finish your thought. You ain't got to tell me shit because we can't see it, and it's subjective, and you know that it is. I can't prove what I just.
No, I got a light here that I'm messing with. That's what I was messing with. My light, if you can see, my lighting is not bright. So I put this like that's what you
scary movie. Scary movie. Go ahead. Go ahead with your scary movie shit that you doing. I know, man. You ain't got to tell me your thought. Because like I said, I don't want to be rude and cut you off, but some of the shit you saying, that's why you don't see, you come up in here in goddamn short in a Hawaiian shirt, everybody in here in tuxedos. You can't even read the room. So I would know what kind of person you are.
Even showing your faces. What are you talking about? Are you dumb?
No. I'm just saying. You ain't even reading the room.
Half of y'all are
Yeah,
not even showing yourself.
it's giving you taking notes. It's giving you're writing things down.
He
It's
doing
giving
something.
that you're taking the conversations that we have in our
think we're
spaces and giving it to someone else. We've
I'm
been
not
around
talking
long
about.
enough.
I'm
We've
alone.
been
I'm not
around
talking.
long enough to know COINTELPRO tactics. I've been around long enough and I've
Well, you're
read enough
wrong.
to know
Well, you're
when there
wrong.
is someone in the space
You're
that
wrong.
don't belong here. And when you opened up your mouth and said, "We FBAs," I knew you wasn't FBA because we don't talk
Miss,
like that.
when you, well, let me tell you what FBA means to me. FBA means to me that my family been there since the beginning of time. That's what FBA means to me. Foundational Black American. My great grandfather and everything. My roots go back to Virginia. So I don't know
Well,
what you're
why
talking.
the hell you the only one not on code on here? We say, okay, it ain't gotta be an echo chamber, but at the end of the day, bro, you saying some really suspect ass shit. Yeah, it's shit suspect.
What does
I
that
don't give
have
a
to do
fuck.
with?
I don't know you. I don't know you like that. Even if I was just sitting here listening to the podcast or was in the chat, it is what it
Well, I
is.
don't know anybody on. I don't know anybody on social media, but what you put out there, you could be a murderer. I don't know who you are.
Okay.
I
Now
just
you
see
want
you
to
on
play
social media.
Show your birth certificate.
I ain't a killer, but don't push me.
Exactly.
Man, come on, man.
You don't know who anybody is. People show you what they want you to see, and when the lights go off, you could be a mass murderer. I don't know who you are.
That's the thing about it. And I teach and I talk to my people. I'm like, I know you don't know. You don't even know when you about to get robbed. You in New York trying to goddamn that nigga asking you for the time. And you be like, oh, he don't even know. He's trying to, I don't know. He might be that slow. Hey, what time? Hey man, what time? You
No,
got the
but
time?
see,
He don't even
here's
know he
my
about to get
thing.
hit across his head. And he trying to play silly. So I don't know if he playing silly or he that silly and that naive onto what it is. You hear the motion in here. Ain't no whole bunch of Mexicans in here. First of all, I ain't never been on no Asian channel or no Mexican channel like that. I ain't never been on Nick Fuentes' channel, but I can see clips of them. I don't do that. If you that opposed to us ignorant, dumb black people and all this shit, whatever, however you may feel, I ain't saying that's how you feel. It is what it is, my nigga. You don't see you in here with a tux, with shorts on and flip flops. We're in here talking with goddamn
I don't got no shorts.
informal wear.
You want me to stand up? I got on pants. What are you talking about?
No, okay.
Oh my God, he don't get it.
Can I say this?
That
Can I say this?
went over his head. That went over his head. Go ahead.
This when you co-sign people like Roland Martin, Amanda
I didn't
Seals,
co-sign anything. I just said what he said. I didn't co-sign anything. I said if you go on his show and debate with him, all of his stuff is factual. Not all of it. Some of his stuff is factual. If you because I fact checked him. That's all I said.
Well, he has a platform. He's a journalist and he has a platform, and he has people.
Amanda
from that
Seals, some of the
perspective,
things she says. I mean, these are people. I don't agree with everything nobody say, but if somebody does something or says something that I agree with, I mention it.
So, but and you see
Amanda Seals ain't never been on code. Why would you say
Well, certain
sometimes?
things she is on code. Certain issues.
Because she had that one.
It's not code.
She ain't never been on
code.
I said on certain. No. You could be on code on. You're not going to agree on everything. If you married and got a wife, you and your wife gonna fight about something. You're not going to agree with everything.
Yeah. See,
no such world.
Can I say something real quick? Real quick, bro. Hey, look. See, I understand it is the internet, but I know how people speak. They'll say something just like what you talking about, Roland Martin and Amanda Seals and stuff like that. They'll say
he said Kamala wasn't black enough. She's not black at all. What are we talking about? Why even go there?
Hold on. But understand the statement. What I got to say to him in particular. Look, anything we say. Look, you gonna be good after we get off. We good on that. But at the end of the day, you can understand when these people are speaking, they'll say something subjectively, real quick, and then try to tie in with something factual. You be like, oh yeah, so Obama want the president? I'm like, nigga, we not talking about him being, that's factual. But you talking about Obama goddamn saved all the black people and he did this and he did that. No, we on your ass for that. Don't you say, you can say something factual and then be like, oh yeah, so he want the president, so he ain't this tall. I'm like, yeah, you can. I understand how it go when people talk and they debate. You will say something factual. I know Roland Martin and I heard Amanda Seals and all these people. They say things that are subjective, and then they're tied in with something that is factual. We getting at your ass for something that's subjective. That's your personal feelings, your personal beliefs, your biasness. That's what we attacking you for. You can't go.
Right. Hold on.
What bias did I have? Show me a bias that I just did. Give me an example.
Did you vote Democrat?
Did I vote Democrat? Yeah. Yeah. Most of the time, yes. Not all the time, but mostly yes. Not always.
And that's how we know you not on code.
Why? So how did you vote?
I didn't.
Ouch. Now he can't even hold you accountable. That hurt. That hurt.
How does that hurt?
Yeah, so
it doesn't hurt me whether you go vote or not. How does that hurt me?
I'm a New Yorker, just like this gentleman. You're from New York, correct, sir?
Yeah, where you from?
I'm from East New York. I'm from the East New York.
Okay.
So where you from? Where you from?
But my family, my family's from up, I got family uptown. I got family, in the Bronx.
I got family down by Euclid Avenue on the A train. I know the area.
Right. So
he's from Brooklyn, man. Go ahead, keep going.
So the point that I'm making is that like a lot of people that live in that area, it's a lot of immigrants there. It's a lot of Caribbeans there. It's a lot more Jamaicans and Puerto Ricans, and they look like us, but they don't have the same mindset. They have a third world mentality, right?
Right.
And so the problem is like, and I don't support like arguing back and forth about stupid stuff. I think because I get what you're trying to say about the whole intellectual discourse, and I understand that, but I don't think that it's like because like when you live in New York and you're surrounded by Puerto Ricans and Asians and all these other groups of people, and you kind of got to be nice to them to maintain civility. Like we're long past the point of being civil with these other groups of people. You know what I'm saying? So I hope you don't take it personal. People coming crazy, but it's like it's disrespectful to like come and say, well, you should, listen to this person or that person because they don't come from the lineage, frankly. You know what I'm saying? And the whole movement is about us separating ourselves from these people. Like Amanda Seals, she can have her political beliefs, but she's from the Caribbean. So speak about speak from the Caribbean, like let people know you're not representing Black American politics. Basically, what I'm saying.
No, some of them do represent. That's not 100% true. I agree with you. 90%, but not, huh?
Who's Black American? But who's Black American that is speaking?
Well, what does a Black American mean? Does that mean you were born here, or does that mean your parents? No, I'm asking
American. I say, okay, we can answer the question. Black American means that you can trace your lineage back to before 1980s, before the Black immigrants started coming. So if you can trace your lineage back to the first census, which is, let me finish. Because I'm gonna quantify it. If you can trace your lineage back to 1790, which is when the first census happened in the United States, or before that, right? Assuming that you have some type of Indian registry or something like that, or the Dawes Rolls. But if you came to America after the passing of the Civil Rights Act and some of the Hayes Act and some of these immigration acts, you can't speak for us because you don't have the legacy in the country. You don't have the time spent in the country. You know what I'm saying? Like I have people in my family who participated in Bacon's Rebellion. You understand? Like Amanda Seals, they just got here in 1965, 1967.
Right.
That's like a Korean person going to Japan in the 80s and saying, well, I speak for native-born Japanese people.
No. First of all, nobody speaks for me. I speak for myself. If somebody says something, I agree with it, I ride with it. If somebody says something I don't agree with, I don't ride with it. Nobody speaks for me. The FBAs, that's my thing. I speak for me because you might say something, or somebody on the panel might say something I agree with. I'm like, yeah, I ride with them on that. And then you might say something I disagree with. That's how I look at it.
Why you keep speaking on FBAs if it's just a group? Why you keep saying
Because they mentioned it to
FBA
me.
as if
it was
it's a
mentioned to me.
group?
It was mentioned to me.
Yo, so
That's
so
why.
after the thing is like it's a lineage though. It's not an organization. There's a delineation movement. There's a movement to change the census because you're talking about, we're going to be here for 10 years, and it's like, no. The first step is to get the United States government to acknowledge and understand our history, which they've already done time and time again. But now it's like, okay, on the census, a Cameroonian person that just came here in the 70s and the 80s, they can't say that they no longer can say that they're African American. They no longer can say that they're Black American. They no longer can pretend to be freedmen. Whatever, take your pick. Whatever term you want to choose, take your pick. My only thing is this Somalian cannot say that he's part of that group. That's the first step, right? So we have a separate group. That's the first thing. Separate groups. Then number two, you organize, right? And then you build a platform around the policy that you want specific to your ethnic group. So that's what we're doing here. It's not to go back and forth with Africans. It's to let them know, hey, you guys need, because they have a culture of latching on to us, but also disrespecting us. So what we're doing now is saying you can't do that because I'm not from Kenya. I don't have any history in Zimbabwe. I have nothing to do with Johannesburg. I have everything to do with Winston-Salem. I got everything to do with Atlanta and Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're saying. So that's all.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Rob. I just came up here so I can out this COINTELPRO and because I just needed it to be clear. He's not an FBA. He's not on code, and we can move on. So I'm gonna go ahead and get back to my mod duties. And let my boo continue to cook. Go ahead, Corey. Baby, I love you.
Oh, that's the mod? Okay, sister, much respect. Yeah. Even though I didn't know who I was talking to. Much respect.
Okay, bye.
So I had this COINTELPRO where I was showing how they capture our leaders. Let's watch a little bit of this and we're gonna see how the real COINTELPRO.
Major target for COINTELPRO, instructing his deputies to intensify operations against the civil rights leader. FBI Assistant Director William C. Sullivan, who led the COINTELPRO section, wrote a notorious memo following King's speech. In the light of King's powerful demagogic speech, we must mark him now as the most dangerous Negro of the future in this nation from the standpoint of communism, the Negro, and national security, Sullivan warned. By Hoover's order, the Bureau was effectively treating Dr. King.
So Hoover, you put laugh. I just want to hear what the chat saying. Thank you. So in this, I'm gonna let it play, but in this clip, it's just showing how the COINTELPRO
as an enemy of the state.
I want to get y'all.
The FBI's campaign against King was sweeping and relentless. Under Attorney General Robert F. Kennedy's hesitant approval, the FBI installed wiretaps on King's phone starting in October 1963, ostensibly for a one-month trial, but in practice it became a years-long invasive surveillance. Soon the FBI was systematically bugging King's home and his hotel rooms, monitoring his private conversations around the clock.
Now, we already know this, but this is the point where what do we do as far as planning online, as far as talking and communicating online with COINTELPRO?
Well, me, honestly, I think because the Supreme Court is supposed to revisit birthright citizenship and who that really applies to, because it was meant for foundational Black Americans, I think we should honestly support that, because that's going to be instrumental in actually getting our ethnic group officially recognized. Because if they say it's meant for FBAs, basically, then they have to kind of, we'll say, who is this group then afterwards? And officially recognize us as a different ethnic group. So I think that's a good place to start in terms of getting officially recognized. When they visit, I think they revisited in was it February, March, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the best way to do that is with like Republicans. It's not going to happen with Democrats. Just frankly, that's not going to happen with Democrats. I just want to say that the whole, that's not going to happen under Kamala Harris and her regime. There is no delineation with Kamala Harris. Now Trump is like, I don't know if you guys seen that video that I don't want to talk about another content creator on your channel, but there's a video of Trump coming out speaking against the white Native Americans and some of that land that they stole and those casinos that they hijacked. And so he's been delineating his own people from the true people of the soil for a long time. So I'm not saying I'm a Trump supporter, but I'm just saying, you know, when he came out with the platinum, like if you compare the two, right, Kamala to Trump, when it comes to Black Americans specifically, Trump is generally more amenable because he has those relationships, you know, with Black Americans that Kamala Harris, as a person who just got here, doesn't have.
That's fact. And also, kind of to touch or rebuttal, your name's Barack Obama.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you said Kamala wasn't Black enough.
I didn't say anything. I said that's what social media said.
Well, well, that's what you were getting at earlier. You were saying, well, it seemed like everybody else thought that she wasn't Black enough, and you know, you was like, we should have picked the lesser of two evils. Basically, is that correct? I was just gonna rebuttal. It's no.
In a nutshell.
I'm not trying to.
In a nutshell.
Okay. Yeah. So my point was gonna be that basically we didn't like Kamala because she kind of did the blackfishing, blaxploitation. Because before she ran for president, we never knew her as Black. She identified as Indian. When she needed our votes, that's when she came out. And then when she said this, the audacity to say she made so many collard greens that she had to wash them in the tub. What foundational Black American has ever washed collard greens in the tub? So that's how you knew she was blackfishing. That's why we didn't like her. And then if you look at the fact that she was the Attorney General for California, and she was putting away all those Black people for the possession of marijuana. And then she's going to turn around and say, I'm not going to do anything specifically for Black people, but then she voted for the Asian American hate crime bill. Like, it just does not seem like she's trustworthy at all. And you got to admit that.
I just said to you, even with my own mother, I didn't agree with everything she said or did. So I don't get your point.
Your point, okay. So yeah. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. Earlier you said she wasn't Black enough. I'm just saying I
didn't say that. I said no. I didn't. You put words in my mouth. You can rewind it and listen. I said I was going at it with people on social media that was saying that. If you want to go home and rewatch this, that's what I said. I never said coming from my own mouth that she wasn't Black enough. I said on social media that was the argument, and I was going at them about the issues. The issues mattered more to me than what her ethnicity and race was. That's what I said.
So what issues?
Huh?
What issues?
I just use an example. I said when it came to issues like SNAP or whatever, cutting people off food stamps and all that, Trump was willing to, let me finish. What Trump and them was doing, the Biden administration would never do. As far
how do we get? Well, hold up. How do we get from Kamala to Trump?
I just said I'm giving you an example of what Trump was doing to people that don't have money. Kamala's, I don't believe that they would have done that. That's what I'm saying to you.
So you don't believe, but you have no proof. Because I looked at her plan honestly.
When they was office, did people get cut off SNAP?
That's not the point. You said
yes, it is the point because it did when Trump got in office.
No,
that is the point.
It was the issues. You said you were.
I said I gave you an example of issues like the things Trump was doing when they did the shutdown. Kamala would have never done.
How do you know that?
Because I feel that it wasn't done during the other administrations.
But that wasn't during COVID.
But it doesn't matter. She co-signed everything that was done.
See what I mean? I wasn't even trying to be disrespectful or catch you with a gotcha moment. I was just trying to intellectually debate you. Because you said earlier, okay, people online were saying she wasn't Black enough. Those were all my reasons why we were saying she wasn't Black enough. She was blackfishing. She just wanted Black votes. She was trying to secure Black votes.
But I don't disagree with that. But I said I was more, and I just said I'm going to repeat. I was more concerned about the issues than what ethnicity she was. That was my argument. So I'm worried about. So go ahead.
So you were worried at the issues. So I was like, okay. So how can you trust this person with the issues she's running for if she's doing all this blackfishing and all these examples?
I could answer that because I know the devil that's in office now was worse. That's why I trusted her more than him.
How?
Huh?
How do you know he was worse?
Because Donald Trump is a straight up white devil. I know his history.
So you have what history?
Huh?
What history?
The history of his family. Let me finish. The history of his family not wanting to let us live in. He had to be sued to let somebody that looks like us live where he lives at. That's what I'm talking about.
And Attorney General Kamala Harris put tons of Black people in jail for marijuana more recently than Trump did that discrimination.
And I just said to you, I'm gonna repeat myself. No matter who it is, I'm not gonna agree with everything they do. I said that to you.
We get that. I always just give you a rebuttal.
No, you have a good rebuttal, but I just said to you, you're never gonna agree with it with anything. You're never gonna agree with everything anybody does. So I take the good with the bad. It's never gonna be perfect. It's not gonna be perfect, no matter who the candidate is. It's never gonna be a perfect candidate. It's gonna be things that they're gonna say and do that you're not gonna agree with.
So that kind of defeats your whole point then.
No, it doesn't.
No, hold on, let me finish. So if you're gonna say you're never gonna agree with everything someone says or does, then why were you willing to argue with people on the issues for Kamala Harris? You don't have to agree with them for everything he does. There was no point for you even to start that argument. But
I didn't start an argument. I made a statement.
Well, you just said you were going back and forth with these people online.
When we was debating, there was a lot of people that didn't know Trump's history, especially the people that was young, like the guy that was on there, the knowledgeable guy that was on here earlier. I don't remember his name. They were talking about stuff and they didn't know what they was talking about. So that's what I'm talking about. Like the stuff that I was talking about, I did my research on. So that was the difference between what I was saying and what they were saying. And then they would come back to me, they would fact check. Oh, I didn't know the history of Donald Trump. I didn't know the area that he lived in Queens. They didn't want no blacks living around there. I didn't know that his father had to be sued to move in the buildings he put up. They didn't know that stuff. And that's what I was explaining to them.
So you chose
Kamala. Well, I would say,
sorry.
I would say the only reason that Kamala Harris's family didn't do that is because they don't have power in America.
It doesn't matter. It wasn't done. I mean, I can't dunk a basketball, so I can't say I can. I'm like LeBron James because I can't dunk.
I hear you. But let me just make my point, and then I'll give you the floor, sir. You can just look at her family, her mother, her matrilineal line, and then her patrilineal line. Her father is a coolie, which is classified as a half Indian, half right. So he's not a black Jamaican, ethnically speaking. And then her mother is a Brahmin Indian, which is one of the top class in the caste system of India. So this is not somebody who can correlate to us and our lineage at all. So just based off that alone, she can't speak for us, and she's not entitled to our vote. That's the point that we're making.
No, I understand that, and you're right. I understand that, but like I said, out of what was available, I felt that she was the better choice for my interest.
Well, she's not though, because you see, well, on your end, she might be because maybe you have an immigrant background, but for somebody who's of somebody who's of the soil, right? They're gonna say, like our neighborhoods, they have too many strangers and outsiders now in our neighborhoods, right? And we can't go to their homeland and just move into their neighborhoods and get benefit. Like you can't go to nowhere on this planet, right? Like in Thailand, I'll give you an example. You cannot purchase, like you can build a building, right? You can build an apartment building, a condo, a skyscraper. You cannot own that land, right? You have to be married to a Thai national and they get 51% ownership. But you as an individual could never just make moves on somebody else's land. That's a problem. And that's what white people have been allowing other groups to do, to undermine us specifically, because they know that it's our land, right? The original inhabitants of the land, and then the people who came and developed the land, which we consider both groups to be FBA. That can't happen. You know what I'm saying? So what Trump is doing now is saying, well, we're seeing all this scamming. Now people may say, oh, it's because they're black and this and that. Whatever. I'm not even going to entertain that conversation. We know how the Somalians classify themselves. They classify themselves as Somalian, as East African, as Arab slaves, right? So that's how they classify themselves. So my thing is, they can't be allowed to use our political and social capital for their personal gain. In closing, and Trump is calling that out, and the Republicans are following that whole. So we benefit.
But why he ain't doing that to the white foreigners? That's the issue I got with that. He ain't doing that to the white foreigners.
Okay. If you look at the numbers of people that's being deported, you have the social media, right? Like you have the social media circus, and then you have the actual data. So if we look at the actual data, the data shows us that people that don't belong here, whether they're European, whether they're wherever, they're getting sent back home. So if you look at the actual data, like pull up,
show me a white neighborhood ISIS is in. Name a white neighborhood ISIS is in. Exactly. I can give you, for every white neighborhood you can name, I can give you 5 of color. That's my point.
Well, here's the thing. That's not a problem for us because of color is not Black American, right? So you have people.
No,
again,
when I say of color, Haitian, African, Latino,
right.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's fine. That's fine, but they're not deporting Black Americans, though. That's the point that I'm making. Like, I'm not.
No, I agree with you on that, but that's not my point.
So to me, it doesn't matter if he's in white neighborhoods or not. To me, it's get the people that are in our neighborhoods out. They're in our neighborhoods. They shouldn't be in our neighborhoods. They should go to the white neighborhoods, or they should be creating their own neighborhoods in a different place. They don't need to be in our, because they're being used to undermine us, as they're being used as a Trojan horse, essentially. I don't know how many white neighborhoods they're in, and I'm not worried about white people. That's a separate issue that we'll address when when it comes time to cross that bridge. But for now, the issue that I have is anti-Black Colombians, anti-Black Latinos, anti-Black American Africans, anti-Black American Caribbeans who disrespect us, but then they come here and pretend to be us. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
that's the bigger problem. We all know what it is with white people, right? But these people come from places where they have the agency, the population, and the control of the military to fight back against white people, and they choose not to do that. They choose to come here and work with white people to undermine us. So
understood.
That's my point. So
that's my
no. I understand that.
I'll just say this, man. You're entitled to your own belief, but the fact that you believe that Kamala was going to do more for you after she said, I'm not going to do anything specifically for Black people, but Trump during that presidential run said he's going to give Black people the Build Back Better something bill. He had a plan specifically for Black people, even though I don't support either one of them. He had a plan for him. Kamala said, I'm not going to do anything specifically for Black people, and you still believed that she would have been a better choice. That she was going to.
I think that him definitely.
That's sure.
Like I said, they're gonna talk, but I think the actions would say different. I feel that he's a bigot. He's a loud bigot. He wouldn't want his daughter to lay up with somebody that looks like me. So, and even his own, and I watched the interview of his niece and his nephew, and his niece said, when I was a little kid, he used the N-word around the house. So,
yeah, but you're making an emotional argument. You're not really making an argument based off of like a factual. Or
I just said that. I just said that he didn't have nobody. A fact is, they didn't want to let nobody live. They didn't want to let nobody live in a community that his father.
Well, he's entitled to that, right? Like nobody cares about having sex with white people or living amongst white people. I would rather much live amongst Black people or people of color, Black immigrants, than I would rather.
But that's not the point. I agree, but that's not the point.
No, the point that I'm making is that I'm just pointing out the fact that you're making these points from an emotional perspective, right? Because like if a white dude don't want to lay up with your daughter, who cares, right? But if the white dude is willing to work with me on policy because we have a shared history in the country, that's different, right? Than a person
but if he's against everything you stand for, then that's another issue.
But how is he against everything I stand for if he's willing to have a conversation with me about policy? If he's willing, he's the president, so we have to be pragmatic, right? We should be less emotional and more just realistic and tactical. And so if the man is in the seat of power, right, because like there's no changing it, and he's willing to have that conversation, like, wait a minute, my Black Americans over there, my pals, whatever he's saying, whether or not it's condescending or my thing is, let's work with the people who are in power that actually have a shared history. Because whether or not you agree with it, white people have a shared history with us in this country, right?
Agreed.
And so I would much rather work with my countrymen than a Johnny come lately who's just hostile because he sees Black and Black means that's my enemy because he's a tribal idiot. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed. No, I agree with that. That's a good logic, but I'm just saying that there's a lot of things about him. I got a whole platform of stuff about him when I was debating when they was running for office.
But like when you look at I don't mean to cut you off. When you look at Kamala Harris, right, and how like when she was I believe she was the DA in California, right? Like she was for the state, I believe, at the state level. AG, excuse me, not the DA, the AG, excuse me. She was the AG. So, I'm sure you're familiar with like those mothers that, maybe their kids were truant from school. And she kind of was like putting mothers in jail and it's exacerbating the issue. The kids are unable to go to school because the mother's not working because she has a bunch of fines associated. Right. So there's like, we could say what we want about Trump. Sure, he did the whole thing with the Central Park 5. I think he apologized for that later.
No, he didn't.
He did. Okay,
no, he didn't.
So, okay. But my thing is like, this is the difference between like my generation and your generation. And again, I'm not saying this to be disrespectful, so please don't take it that way. But there's just a lot more emotion in the game, I think, coming from like Gen X than us. Like we're just more like, I don't care about how you feel about black people. I care about what you're gonna do for black people. I care about
I feel the same way. That ain't got nothing to do with age. I feel that way.
Right. And so Kamala Harris is not even going to let us in the room, right? Because she comes from a stratified society where the blacks are just at the bottom no matter what, right? So she comes from a hateful, demonic lineage who has the black Jamaicans basically tethered at the bottom as a permanent underclass in their system, which is why they have to come over here in the first place, right? So we need less of that. And if it has to be a white savior, so be it. But we need somebody who's going to work with us on policy. Right. And I'm telling you, as somebody who's I've lived amongst the global South, you know, pick your continent. I'm telling you, these people have like these extremely ignorant, stratified racial positions because they don't know any better, because they don't have a history or a lineage of fighting back. They have a history of collaboration. And so a collaborator class is always going to be worse. It's like how at your job, right? You got a middle manager and then you have the actual manager or the boss. The boss is always cooler than the middle manager, right? The mulattoes in Haiti were always much, much worse. Well, maybe that's not a good example, but over time, over history, you could see that the management class, the buffer class, generally speaking, is much, much worse than the managerial class, the actual managers. So basically what I'm saying is Kamala Harris is like, again, another Trojan horse, right? And so it's not about her being black enough. It's about her actions. And then it's about the culture that she comes from.
She's not black. She's not black. She's not FBA.
Yeah, she's not one of us. And, you know, again, you know, people might have an Indian girlfriend or a Zimbabwean, you know, uncle or something. But my thing is like, regardless of all that, they're not of us. They're black. Okay, that's cool. But we got to put the black thing to the side and focus on the lineage, right? Focus on the lineage and we'll get what we need. But we don't need outsiders coming in from these countries where the blacks are at the bottom and the blacks are angry and hateful at us because they're at the bottom and we're not at the bottom in our country. That's just not beneficial to us.
I agree. That's a good point. I agree with that. So, well, listen, man, I'm going to get off this.
All right, facts.
Talking.
Appreciate you for tapping in, man.
I didn't, to be honest with you, I'm used to it with black people, but I didn't feel welcome. But it's all good. Like I said, I'm not. No, I'm used to that. I go up to black neighborhoods and I get looks all the time, man. I'm used to it with our people.
Hold on. We were good with you. What are you talking about?
Nah, it wasn't welcome because I have a different perspective than you. I wasn't welcoming. You welcoming to people. It's almost like you're welcoming a yes men that come in there. Oh yeah. You're not welcoming to somebody that's gonna stand up or don't see things the way you do. That's what people. That's why I'm a loner, because I don't go along with something that everybody's doing. Well, I grew up in foster care, and everybody that was in there was smoking weed, getting high, robbing and stealing, and I had the same mindset. I'm telling you what happened, and that's why I'm still here. A lot of them ended up in jail on drugs or dead.
No. Kill that noise. We don't need that on here.
What? No, I'm just telling you what happened.
Yeah, I apologize if you feel.
No, so listen, I'm used to that with our people. I'm used to that, so it don't bother me.
Well, the thing is,
I'm built for it. Because I'm not gonna. Because what it is when you're dealing with people, they like yes men. That's why Charles Barkley and Jordan ain't friends. Because Charles Barkley don't co-sign when he feel that you don't do something right. Do your research. When you co-sign it, oh yeah, it's Michael Jordan or it's whoever it is, it's Trump. That's or Margie Taylor Greene. That's why her and Trump is beefing, because she's not coming up there feeding into his rhetoric. That's how people are. So I'm used to it. If I came in there and pretended that, go ahead, I'm sorry.
But you're coming to a space, right? That's like me going to the ninja, like a ninja clan, right? And then I'm trying to be a samurai in the ninja clan. When you come to an organization, you got to be on code with the people that's in the organization, or you have to create your own separate organization.
No, I'm not trying. No, I'm not. Well, first of all, I didn't know what I was walking into. I'm like people expressing their opinion, and I'm expressing mine, and I'm not gonna yes you to death because you see it that way. If I don't see it that way, I'm going to tell you. If your breath's stinking, I'm going to tell you, you need a mint.
Yeah, I feel you. I agree with you. But I just think that, like, people are like, because there's certain buzzwords in our community now. So when people bring up like Roland Martin or supporting the Democrats.
Right.
That's going to get people to get in your, people going to
No,
get in your
no.
ass.
Like I said, but if I'll say this to anybody in your panel: go on his panel and debate with him, because I would debate with him if I felt a certain way. I'm not scared to go one-on-one with a debate on issues that I'm familiar with. I won't debate you on something I'm not familiar with. Like I won't go on a hockey thing and debate white boys on hockey, but I'll go in there and debate you to death on basketball. If it's an issue I know, I'm not scared to go at anybody on the planet. That's why I call myself Barack O'Drama, because when it comes to the debates, I could bring the drama.
I feel you, but at a certain point, we have to put our personal intellectualism to the side, and we have to join the hive mind to a certain extent, because that's part of being on code, right? That's just what it is.
Yeah, I was on code. I listened all night. I didn't interrupt nobody. I didn't call nobody at the name. I could be on code, but even being on code, if you do something that I don't agree with, I'm not going to ride with that. If you telling me your wife was out late last night and you beat her up, I'm not going to ride with you. That's just my style. I'm going to call you on something that I don't agree with. I'm not going to it's my man. Yeah, his wife she probably shouldn't have been out there late. I'm not going to do that.
I hear you. I think we're getting a little bit off topic, but I just want to say that
my father was a Korean War veteran, and one thing he taught me: let mother effers know where you stand, and if they want to be friends, we could be friends, and if they don't want to be friends, that's cool too. I'm never going to be a yes man. I'm not built like that. If I was doing that, I probably wouldn't be here right now talking to you, because the guys I was riding with the streets when I was growing up, they not here now.
I think it was good that you came in, because we're having a discourse because of the fact that you came in here. So I think that's the silver lining. But all I'm saying is that, like, when you start talking about the Democrats and they helping us out and they're promoting LGBT and immigration, that's going to get you chopped up in the chat, man. That's just what it boils down to.
Man, listen, I felt like, I'm going to say this. I felt like if people was to ask me what group benefited from a Barack, I would say that community did. I felt that the LGBT progress. I didn't progress. I know people that benefited from some of the stuff he did, but I personally didn't.
Right, Africans, Pacific Islanders, other minority groups, everybody but us.
Right,
and then
I agree with that.
Right, and so Kamala is like 2.0 of that. So that's where I'm confused. You're saying, well, Kamala's better than Trump, and I'm like, well, if we just take away the not liking him personally. Not really. Yes, I'm saying, like, just the whole, we got to be pragmatic and we got to look at data more so than just not.
Let me ask you a question. I can give you some things that Obama, I can say some things you want to hear it that he did that people benefited, but if you don't want to hear it, I won't say it.
No, I'll hear it. Like, I know if one thing he did was my brother's keeper, and there was a lot of women that didn't like that he put that forward. At the end of the day, like, okay, that's one program, but then also his entire cabinet was pointed out was given to him by Citibank. So his cabinet was appointed by the CIA, alphabet agencies, and banks, international monetary funds, right? And so ultimately, that's not something, that's not going to benefit Black people. So we could talk about like little programs, but I'm talking about investing billions of dollars as reparative justice for Black Americans. That's what I'm saying. And if
he didn't. Well, if you want me, I'm gonna keep it real with you. He didn't do nothing Black specific, but I know that Black people benefited from some of the things he did do in general. I know personally.
But you can say that about every president, because we're American, right? So we're going to benefit if the president does things that benefits America as a whole, right? Which is why I'm an American. I'm pro-America, which is why I was in the army, the military for 10 years, right? But at the same time, we're also a nation within a nation. And so when you neglect a nation within a nation to prioritize recent immigrants who like don't contribute a lot to their own homelands, that's a problem. Like that's antithesis to what I stand for. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree.
So with Trump, I'm gonna say this again. Like, no, I don't. Maybe personally, I don't know. I've never met the man. If we hung out and had a drink, maybe I like him, maybe I wouldn't. But I'm willing to have the conversation. I'm not just gonna say, well, fuck him, and I don't like his because they have power. So let's work with who got power.
No, I agree with that. I could be cordial with anybody, but if you're gonna do something I don't agree with, that same rule applies. I'm gonna say no. You can't go to East New York and deport the people of color over there, and you're not going out to Bay Ridge and doing it with the Irish and the Italians. You gotta go both ways.
Yeah, I have to do research. I have to look at the numbers. I'd have to look at the numbers.
Well, I know what he's doing. I know all 90% of the communities that they running through, because I've seen it. You see them in mostly communities of color. You don't see them In Beverly Hills, you don't see them where a lot of those people live. You see them mostly where they look like us.
Since 1776, there's been two Americas. There's Black America and there's White America. The problem is that they've been putting a lot of third worlders in Black America. So it benefits us to have these people taken out of our neighborhoods.
Yeah, but that's not the point. I agree with that, but that's not my point.
I hear you, but I'm making a separate point. So and then I'll give you the floor. I just want to say, like, if he gets them out, okay, if he's targeting people on the basis of race, okay, that's fine. But if they're breaking the law and he's targeting them, I have no issue with that.
No, but that's what the media is painting. No, that's not what he's doing. They're running up on people that didn't commit a crime, and then they'll say, "Oh, you was here too long," and then they're locking them up.
They're committing a crime by being here too long. If you all stay in
no. They're supposed to be going after you if they think you did a crime, not just grabbing you random. That's what they're doing. I've seen it.
Well, that's just part of the police state that we exist in. But that's a whole other thing we have to organize against, right? But what I'm gonna just say this. I just want to put it in context for people in these other countries that these people come from. They are not doing anything politically to fight back against what's happening to them in their homeland from their own people. So don't expect to come over here and I'm supposed to fight for you against the police state that's affecting you now because you're not valued in America. Unfortunately, third world people of color are just not valued in America, right? Because they're not really bringing much value. And the concept of connecting with them just on the basis of how they look, that's not okay. So we were able to get things done as a group, as FBA, when we were the number one dominant minority in the country. And we have to go back to that. That's my thesis statement, basically.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I agree with that. Go ahead to that, Barack Obama.
Yeah, no. 99% of what come out of his mouth, I agree with. But I'm saying if I critique, because I don't critique everything, but if I critique something or you say something I don't agree with, I just gotta let it know.
Okay, so what does FBA stand for that you don't agree with? What is something?
No, I agree with everything you said. It's a lineage thing. I don't disagree with you. I look at myself as one, but I disagree with some of their ideology. I mean,
what's ideology? We want to hear that. Like,
no, some people that's not FBA feel that y'all are separatists and against them and mistreating them.
That is true. That's 100% true. That's true. We're separate from black immigrants, and we are against black immigrants who participate in the political system to undermine our reparations claim.
No. But some that aren't doing that feel some that are with you feel that one told me I grew up with him, but his lineage is Haiti. He said when we was growing up, when the cops pulled us over, we was both niggas. The cop didn't say you FBA. And I'm not FBA. They threw both of us up against the wall.
This is a good argument. I've heard this argument before, but
no, but I lived the argument. Hearing it and living it is different. We did get growing up when the cops ran up on us because they thought we were selling drugs. They threw all of us on the floor. He didn't say to me, "Wait a minute, you're FBA. You go home," and they locked all of us up.
I hear you. I respect your position, but what I'm saying is, in opposition to that point, is that it really doesn't matter.
What, it doesn't matter that happened?
No, what I'm saying, no, I'm not disrespecting what happened to you. Yeah. What I'm saying is, right? We're conflating two separate issues. One issue is white supremacy. The second issue is tetherism.
True.
So because like I would never, like, when I go to Haiti, or if I was to go to Haiti, I would never pretend to be Haitian and then say, well, the French look at us all as niggers, so why can't we just pretend to be each other and all benefit off of your culture? I'm saying, like, so I hear what you're saying as far as being mistreated by white people. Yes, that is a collective thing that all black people have faced, right? But my problem is, in his homeland, why are they not fighting back against the colonizer in his home? Why did they kill Dessalines? If
you know your history, Toussaint was the first one to defeat Napoleon, or one of the first. Right. And that's why France is mad with Haiti to this day.
They captured Toussaint, though. Right. So the next person, because the person that actually initiated the genocide of whites and mulattoes in Haiti was Dessalines. And Dessalines traveled to each city in Haiti, from Port-au-Prince to each city and municipality within Haiti. And he said, you can either kill all these white people or we're going to kill you. And that's the type of mindset that you have to have. And I'm not advocating for genocide.
No, I agree with that. I agree.
FBI or CIA is calling in or whatever, watching, this, and this is my thoughts. This ain't got nothing to do with Water God or anybody else on the panel. But that's the mindset that you have to have when you're dealing with them.
No, I agree.
Yeah, so it's like I'm sure you're aware that like Dessalines, he wanted them to build the Citadel.
Yeah.
To be a military forward operating base essentially.
But
and
you know what? I would anything that comes out of anybody in your panel's mouth about history, I wouldn't debate it because that's not my area. Especially like some people know world history, I won't debate. I'll be like, I'll take your word for it because that's not my area.
Therein lies the issue, right? You got to know these other people's history to know why we feel the way we do about.
Understood.
Yeah, so because they have Africans and Caribbeans have a history of undermining themselves for personal gain.
But yes, I agree.
Ethiopians and Somalians and East Africans have a history of collaborating with Arabs against other black people. Like there's in East Africa, right? There's the Nilotic people, so like the Luo and some of those people, and then you have I'm talking about Kenya specifically. You have Nilotic people, and then you have Bantu people. Mm-hmm. Bantu people are the people that have the nappy hair. The Nilotic people are the people who have hair like Water God, right? And so they discriminate against each other, well, not against each other, but against the Bantus, and they collaborate with Europeans on the basis that the European has straight hair. And my problem is that, like, bro, you trying to get closer to white people. And so you do that in your homeland, and then you coming over here to me, and you telling me we all the same, but then when I look at your Haitian brothers, what did you do about Papa Doc? Exactly. Like, what did you do to stop Duvalier? What did you do to stop them from looting your country? You didn't do anything, so you gave up on your country, and then you come to another man's house and you shaming him because he's not letting you rummage through the fridge. That's the problem that I have.
No, I agree. You're very knowledgeable. I mean, you know your stuff. Like I said, that's not. You're right. I should know more about that, but I don't. Like that's not really my area. I would I said anything on anybody on your panel that would say about that lineage stuff. I would say, or take your word for it, because it's not my area.
Because we're saying like we come from like Elijah McCoy, right? We come from people who were inventors and who built civilization. Lewis Latimer, Benjamin Banneker. Like that's where we come from. But when you look at Haiti, they have an amazing history up till they killed Dessalines, right? And then after that, you see everything falls apart. Same thing with the Kenyans, right? Yeah. When the Europeans were there up until the 60s and they got independence, they were doing great. But now that the European has left, they haven't been able to build a society. Because I'm looking at it outside of just history. There's also civics, right? There's also civil engineering. There's so many pieces to building a society. And what I'm saying is, after living amongst the Africans for many months, I quit my job. I was working in Hampton, Virginia in August 2024. I quit my job and moved to Africa for a year because I just wanted to see what is this about? What are these people? Why do they have so much things to say about us? Why are they so tribal? So I went there and I put feet on the ground and I almost had children with an East African woman. And I came to realize I'm not compatible with these people because of how they operate, because of how they think. They think with like a fifth grader's perspective. Me and you are having an ivory tower conversation. They looking at shit from a Chuck E. Cheese perspective. And then because of how they're colonized, because of how they've been taught, and because you gotta understand, like, our education system was set up by Europeans, but we fought so much to have a curriculum that was beneficial to us and other groups of people. World history, for example. Right. Their education system is set up by Europeans, and they just accept that. So they accept the European worldview. I told you earlier, there was a girl I was dating who told me, oh yeah, the Europeans, they brought us civilization. And then I'm like, well, damn, what about Mali? What about Songhai? What about Timbuktu and all these other great empires? Why don't you know your own history? I'm saying, so they don't know how to build a society. In closing, is what I'm saying. Like, they don't have like zip codes, they don't have sewage systems, like they don't have garbage collection, they don't have like actual elections. You know what I'm saying? They don't have these things, and they expect the European to bring that to them. The difference with us is that we've always had those things, and they were destroyed or taken from us. So it's important to know the distinction between two groups. This whole thing about just being black, that's not enough to connect us anymore.
Agreed.
Yeah.
All right.
I
just want to say one more thing. I hope I've been able to convert you to our cause, and I've been able to explain.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean, you could always learn something. You could always learn. It's what
that's
it
all
is,
I want to say.
I agree with everything you said. I mean, you know what I'm saying. I my mindset is even more FBA than it was when I got on here. So
that's all I'm here to do. I appreciate it.
Yeah, let me get out of here. All right, yo, listen. We'll be, if I see y'all on again, I might cam up, but I'll just cam or just listen in as a spectator.
Okay, I appreciate you. We appreciate you for tapping in.
All right,
They
brother.
said they want to see a hairline before you go.
It's there. Let me get out of here. Let me go.
Okay.
Peace.
Please, man. Hey, he said it's there. What's up, man? We got Unspoken Vibes on the line. I think Mama Ursha came on. Don't bring it back to the studio.
I don't know. Corey, you were being nice to that man. Respect to him, but there's a lot of contradiction in what he said. Like one of the last things I was going to touch on, like he said, why are they not going in white communities? If they're going in these black immigrant communities, it should be the same all across the board. I'm gonna stand on stuff. I want everything to be the same across the board. So it's just like, okay, for Pan Africans earlier, we've been on code, but we should go back and try to be on code with them when they haven't been reciprocated the same energy. I just found that contradictory.
Well, you have a lot. You sound like you're like more my age group. So
yeah,
you have a lot of these older people, like our parents and stuff like that. Like they've kind of given up to a certain extent psychologically. So they're like bought into the media system and the Democrats and the role. Because when he brought up Roland Martin, I'm like, okay, he just sounds like, because I've met older FBA people who talk about Roland Martin, and I'm like, well, you should probably just listen to Tariq instead, or somebody in that vein instead. You know what I'm saying? They just probably just don't know, because they didn't grow up with the internet like me and you did, to where we have all this information, So that's all. And I try to be patient with people.
That's facts. I'm gonna try to be more patient.
Facts, but man, at some point we got to stand on our true business, because we can't be. We know these people are put up as a shield, and nobody else can't tell us no, but vote for them. No, they saying something good. You can't pee on me and tell me it's raining.
Yeah, they're just a symbolic mouthpiece at this point.
Yeah, definitely. So anytime I hear somebody on any Roland Martin or anything, I'm like, oh no. But
he's probably laid up with a Dominican chick. It is what it is. I just think that let's attract support with honey and not vinegar. You know what I'm saying? That's all.
Shout out to him for coming up.
Yeah, because he let us see how people see us, and he said that he ain't feel welcoming, but it's personal to this point. When you try to latch on Democrat Party to us, it's like disrespectful at some point. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people got to get used to not feeling welcome. I can't go to a Jewish synagogue and feel welcome. We got to start excluding people.
Yeah, that's what it is. You got to be on code. That's what it is. Being on code. That was off code. The whole chat was saying he was off code. So.
Yeah, I thought we were pretty good for the most part. Me personally.
I'm about to make this channel. I don't know if Mickey posted the Discord, but I'm about to make my channel.
Yeah, she did, man. She posted it up there, but yeah, I got it. Mickey might can post it again. I seen when she posted, but yeah, we got the Discord, man. We're gonna be jumping back in on that. He put absolutely. But yeah, man, start that channel. We're gonna put these petitions out for things that we doing now. So I want us to be tapped in so we know to push these petitions and make sure nobody is taking our seats, that we need all the seats. Somebody sent me a message and said like 80 to 90% of the seats need to be FBA only. They had some kind of percentage. So I'm gonna bring it up.
If you're interested, man, on the Discord, because I'm about to start the YouTube. I'm about to actually go buy a camera and do that this weekend. But just set it up like basic history lessons, I guess, because it's just astounding to me how many older people, younger, whoever, don't know our history. That's the first step. Just know who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
When you know who you are, you can say I'm not Haitian, I'm American. So I think that's most important first.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, that's facts.
Facts. I agree with that.
But what were you originally talking about, Water God? Because I came in a little late.
I was originally talking about Jasmine Crockett running for Senate, and I did a video canceling her because she's not on code.
Yep.
So,
I support
that was what the first part of the video was about. And We were just talking about Black Americans. We're just speaking about the immigration and how it affects them. So,
oh yeah, Corey touched on it earlier because a lot of the resources, a lot of these immigrant or the migrants, especially during the COVID era, they were busting them specifically to high or communities with a high Black demographic or foundational Black American demographic, and then they were leaving them out of the wider neighborhoods basically. And then there was was it Chicago? I think they shut down a school in Chicago to house these migrants, and they were getting to stay in these motels and hotels for like $500 a night, and that's all our tax dollars. That's the resources that could have been went back to us. And also shout out to all the foundational Black American veterans. There was like 3 up here today. There was Corey, there was Arista, and there was the other guy.
The vets. Appreciate the vets, man, for real. For real. But yeah, guys, so yeah, I'm gonna be dropping some cancellation videos, man, coming up. And we're gonna have them petitions. Y'all make sure y'all sign the petitions, man, and so we could definitely get something moving. But yeah, man, I'm gonna be going live tomorrow, man. Make sure y'all tap in. We can relate, and I seen a couple people want to start their channel. That's what's up, man. Any way I can help y'all just let me know. And hit me on Instagram though. If y'all go to one of the videos, it got my IG in there. That's the best way to contact me. But man, salute to Unspoken Vibes, Corey, Miss Mickey, FBA, salute to Ursama and everybody in the chat was staying on code. Miss TS, she wanted to kick the dude out, man. But I appreciate everybody, man. She built journal, everybody who tapped in today, man. Another good talk. We're gonna put this together and make sure we're doing something to make some strides. So y'all tap in. This is a safe place to where we send coded messages. And salute, peace, and love. Y'all want to close them out? Unspoken Vibes and Corey.
Yeah, I'll let Corey close out. So I'll go first. Word of God, appreciate the platform. Love what you're doing. Shout out to everybody in the chat that's on code. Shout out to the ones that are a little lost also. We'll get you there. We're working on it. Yeah, love the platform. Peace.
Appreciate that. All right, Corey.
Yeah, man. Let's get to organizing, man. Let's get serious about organizing, and it's obvious that we got the tether radars on deck. I'm saying the tether sonar detector is crazy in this chat, so that's good. But yeah, I just want to say, man, again, this platform kind of came to me out of nowhere. I was scrolling YouTube and I just saw you talking about these immigrants, so I appreciate that, man. It's anybody's talking about the real, so I appreciate you having me. And I hopefully the door is open for me to jump on your lives, and you'll definitely be welcome on mine in the future.
For real. Always, bro. Always. So fam, we out of here. Peace and love to everybody. We're going to have some new stuff coming, man, and be bringing up some good ideas. I want y'all to come up with some good ideas. So y'all tap in tomorrow, man. We're going to have some more fun, put something together for y'all. Peace and love.